Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
Fade in.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself. But go f yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
What's the matter? Take yourself a great big bite of meat. Taste the pleasure of the highest quality pork around.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
No! She's not supposed to be talking about...
I have no idea what's going on, Dre, but it's fun.
Talk about that!
He's having a breakdown. Somebody call Johnny Cochran.
You gotta watch it. You gotta hit the like button.
We've got to get it up for him, guys. Come on. Everyone who's watching this video needs to
that.
go over
Don't
there,
say it like that.
And share the video. We gotta keep going.
Don't they have to get it up for me? Don't say it like that. God damn it.
Who writes someone that's a genius and that everybody is over there sucking her toes, and then you got to come over here and then say something ridiculous like, hey, victimize me, daddy.
You know what? There is a single reason why I wouldn't want to become a merman. I wouldn't have my penis anymore.
Oh, these two girls when you kiss, they're gonna be hot. Oh, yo, you know, Elizabeth Hurley's gonna get butt naked in this.
Like, I wanna dive into her deep pool and swim around in her labia.
I'm still jerking off in front of my console.
You know how much I love Snorlax? I'm gonna prove it to you. These are my slippers. All right, Snorlax slippers. I don't give a crap who knows. I'm a grown man and I'm rocking Snorlax slippers. I don't give a crap.
Well, we're talking about people who have serious sexual orientation and gender identity problems. And I'm not talking, and when I say sexual orientation, I don't mean, you know, a dude who likes a dude and a chick who likes a chick. We're talking about people who think that they're non-binary and they don't know how to play with their holes and shit like that.
Oh,
so, Jesus Christ. When I was swarmed by bugs, Dom H, the hero that he is, waded into that maelstrom of claws and jaws and gook and pulled my dead ass out and got me to safety on the ship. Dom H is a patriot and a hero.
Yeah, that was really gay.
Hey, man, you don't know what it's like being in the shit with the bugs everywhere, man. It's terror. It's a nightmare. It's horrible.
Bugs make you gay? Kind of explaining why Bill Gates is pushing so hard for us to eat bugs.
This is why I do crystal meth.
Ooh, so exciting.
Two things. One thing is guaranteed to happen, Adam. I'm going to get naked. Either way, either from celebration or depression, I'm getting naked in some way, shape, or form. It's happening. Period. Not up for debate. It's happening.
Let me do it myself here. Let me get it up real quick. Hey, shut up. Shut up. I didn't mean it like that, you perverts.
I'm colored.
Shut up.
Yeah, you know what? This freaking existed. It exists. That exists.
You just imagined it.
I guess. Kind of hurts. I think it's physical. It has shown us one thing. The fake fans, the stands, they show up. They showed up for all of these. But they're not an audience.
Nope.
They're a bunch of weirdos hanging out in a parking lot watching each other do weird shit.
Oh God.
I don't know where I come up with these. They just happen.
Are you out there watching them watch them?
I can hear them from where I am. That's the
Oh.
A lot of squelching.
Yeah. Listen, at least I don't have to clean it up. That's good.
Stop touching my penis. Stop doing that. I did not consent to this type of touching. Stop it. It's wrong.
But we're told that we don't like any of this because we're misogynists. We just don't like this stuff because we're women And the only reason we're unhappy about the Ray movie coming out, because, guys, did you hear the Ray movie was canceled and uncanceled? Did you hear that?
Dre, you heard that too, right?
I did hear it.
Wait,
I
what
did hear it.
What did I do?
You said because we're women.
We hate it because we're women.
Okay. I said it. All right. Yeah, see, now Ariel just arrived, and she's going to make sure that I remember that.
Yes, we didn't want it to come out like this, but Adam is in fact trans. He's coming out of the closet. Him and Dermy are in a relationship. It's time.
It's still there.
I didn't say that.
Well, you can still have it, but still identify as a woman.
Oh, you will taste and see that I am delicioso. The Legend of Korra took a diarrhea in my mouth and then told me to chew it, swallow it, vomit it, and then eat it again.
And these tool bags wouldn't know quality if it walked up and motorboated them. Because, you're going to motorboat quality.
Wait, what?
Quality boobs. You want to motorboat quality boobs.
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things on earth.
Are we normal?
Nope.
No.
Nope. We're not normal, are we? Welcome, howdy and hail, everybody, to another round table where we give our very unique takes, perspectives, and weird shit on what happens on the week. We hope you've had a nice weekend so far, and we're happy to have you here with us. Hi, Jed.
Hi.
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I got nothing.
Well, I am happy to be here. We have a lot of great topics to talk about today. Had a lot of fun on driving last night talking about an interesting film. So if you want to check that out, we talked about the Golden Voyage of Sinbad, and we had thoughts. And not everyone liked my thoughts, as per usual. But we definitely had a lot of fun with that. And today we're talking about Kathleen Kennedy potentially leaving. She's Schrodinger's president. I don't know what's going on with her. MCU leaks. We've got a fat, juicy schedule for you guys today.
Fat, juicy. You didn't know where to go with that one, did you?
I didn't know. I knew I wanted to say fat, juicy, and it's like, I don't want to say anything too dirty. I already built it up too much. It's too early. But I do want to briefly share with you guys something that made me laugh before the show started. Just as a quick laugh. There's not a discussion to be had around it, really, but there's been some released armor sets for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I think particularly Dre is going to relate to it and immediately say, will they sell these at the local Walmart? I don't know if they will for you, but...
Oh, please share.
Are you guys ready for George Floyd the Gay?
Oh, mama.
That's real?
That's not real. Come on.
Why does he have flowers in his hair?
It's from an official Ubisoft account that I got it from.
And look at his groomed chest hair.
There's other photos too, like the chick has a version of this. Some of the side characters have versions of this. Like there's a lot of variety to it. His, of course, just looks the best. And this continues in the. This continues in the tradition of the last couple Assassin's Creed game where your mounts can be whatever. You can ride a wolf in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and you can get different variants and just weird shit. I'm thinking he's going to ride this gay dog. This gay fox.
Gay fox.
Why do they have to make these black men gay?
That's a very good question. That is a very, very good question.
Why is it pink and... It's got the trans colors in there, the pink, the white, and the purple.
Because when I think gays, I don't think black guys personally.
What's going on
I can see if I can find her version of it, but the chick's version of it is a lot more subtle. Like she's still in a black suit with just some pink flowers in her hair. Like it's very subtle.
He's got flowers in his hair.
Yeah, but she's way less flamboyant than this one.
Man, just inspiring young black men everywhere, huh?
Yeah,
absolutely.
All three of them that's buying that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought you would all appreciate that.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Well, I'm doing fine this
How you
week. I've
doing?
had an up and down week this week, but all things considered, I'm not too bad. Had a great interview this week, so that was very, very nice. Yeah, plenty. I guess Jed touched on earlier. The KK news was always
Ate up the
entertaining.
week, man. It ate
Yeah,
up.
yeah, and I was looking at the chat. Frank Blaskowitz. There is no Snorlax Funko Pop. Trust me. I don't have one. I do not have one. There is Munchlax. There is no Snorlax, which is an abomination, and it's wrong. Mewtwo, Dragonite, all of them, no Snorlax. There's been customs, but I do have a Snorlax environment that was custom made.
Oh,
For me.
Is that what it's like inside his Pokeball?
Yeah, this is like what's inside his Pokeball. Yeah, a friend of mine made
I've got
that.
one of. I think I've got one of the Alohan Fox, and it's snow form, all white and fluffy. I thought it was quite cute.
Yeah. So these are great, but Funko needs to stop playing around. Make the Snorlax joint. Take my money, and we can all move on with our lives. But
I'm
you
okay.
know,
I'm good.
I can't have nice things.
No. Dragon Lady, do you have nice things?
If you count Funko Pops as them.
Thank you.
No.
I've got some next to me.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, it's been quiet. Hopefully I'll be playing around in Assassin's Creed Syndicate tomorrow to get my mind off that image from Shadows. Even though that looked quite cool, but other than that.
I like Syndicate. I enjoyed Syndicate. I had a good time with that one. That was a good one. It was the last pure Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah. There's issues with it, and I understand why it's not that popular, but yeah, it's still a lot of fun. It's still an Assassin's Creed game.
Yep. Okay, so hail and howdy to the chat. We are happy you're joining us here. Hail, look, Goddess and Algrim, my mods. I think they like me. I think they do. I sort of think they do. Going down the list, let's say hi to everybody. Hail, Dom H, who is a patriot. He saves me from bugs. Although we did go back into Starship Troopers this week. I gave it a shot, see if it was fixed. I think it's fixed. So I'm gonna try and get some of that back on the schedule. I'll be talking more about my upcoming gaming schedule for the month at the end of the show, because now there'll be a return to some regular gaming going on, but I'll talk about that later. Hail Static, how are you? Hello Kale, howdy. Hail Frank, how you doing? Hail to you, Ruben X. Huzzah, son of Joxer. And let me see if anybody else says anything. No, and if you're just watching and not chatting, we appreciate you joining us on this Sunday afternoon. We hope you're having a good time. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channels, and let's get into the show. Okay, so we've already alluded to the fact that there is one major topic we're going to cover today. The major one is, of course, the Kathleen Kennedy thing. It's over already. It's done. But we're gonna analyze it anyway. We're gonna react to people's reactions. We're gonna talk about it. A lot of floating stories around it, and it's simply something that has to be talked about. Even though there were complaints, why are you talking about it? Because it's legitimate, especially because she got directly involved. That's what makes this unique from any other single instance of her, purported departures. Okay. So other than that, we've got everything else kind of a collection. We will be talking yesterday. They did drop some artwork, some what they think it's going to look like from Avengers Doomsday. And I'll just say right now, if you go by that artwork, by that kind of stuff, they haven't learned a goddamn thing. They haven't learned anything. They haven't learned a single damn lesson. So let's once and for all stop pretending that the MCU is going to turn around. All right. And then we got a hodgepodge of other things I'm going to throw out there now. Let's start with this one. First,
while we're still talking about the topics, I think we have an opportunity to fulfill a promise made in the original title of the stream. If you're interested. It's a full one. It's 2 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
When we want to get around to that, if you want to.
Yeah, all right. Let's do that after. I want to do this one.
No, of course.
Just do a couple things first. Then that is fantastic, because I did have a story for Doctor Who, but I pulled it because I looked into it more like, it doesn't mean shit. But now, I think I said last week there's going to be a trailer any second. They had to. And,
They just randomly dropped it on a Sunday with no fanfare.
Okay, so we're going to react to that. But first I want to do this. Dre, you got Pokemon news this week with the thing. How do you feel about that? Because I watched Dermy and Cloud touch themselves over it on Friday, and I was folding laundry while they were doing that. So I don't really care. But
they were dirtying their clothes. You were cleaning yours.
Yeah, exactly. But I want a man's perspective because you're a man, and I respect you, and I don't respect Dermy, and I question Cloud. Listen, I want to be nice to Cloud because one day Cloud's going to snap, and I just don't want to be in the way when he goes on his killing spree. So, how'd you feel about the announcement, Z to A, and all the other stuff?
Yeah, the idea that they're trying to do real-time battles, I think they're trying to do something that's interesting, at least with the concept, and trying to evolve the Pokemon formula that's been around for 25 years. So I think that idea is very good. The execution, however, that's the only thing that kind of concerns me. But but me personally, I like the idea because the reason why Game Freak and everybody is doing this is because Power World was getting up in the yams last year and did something that Pokemon couldn't do in decades, and that's actually expand what the game actually is and what it does. And I'm glad to see that lit a fire under somebody's sack. So I'm glad to actually see that, and this actually shows progress for the franchise instead of just doing weird offshoots. Like there's so many weird offshoots of Pokemon, like Mystery Dungeon or whatever the case may be, outside of trading card game, because that's kind of like its own thing. But like Mystery Dungeon and all them other things, I think this is a very, very good thing. And I think we have Power World to thank for it. Personally, that's what I believe. We have Power World to thank for Game Freak literally having to be like, hey, they took our concept and raked us over the coals and made gajillions of dollars in about 37 seconds flat. Yes, we are the biggest monster company in the world and all that other great stuff, but people wanted something more, wanted something different, and wanted something that's expansive. And I gotta give them credit. They're actually pulling the trigger on something that's actually really interesting. So I think that's cool. I don't like what they did with the Chosen Starters. I am not happy about that at all. Granted, I love Gen 2. Don't get me wrong, but don't putting T-Pig in there instead of Cyndaquil, and I understand that Typhlosion gets a lot of heat. But Totodile definitely is good. I think they could have got somebody from like the second, third, and fourth generation. They could have did something like that because we don't need Typhlosion. We definitely don't need another version of Chikorita, but whatever. There is good ideas happening. I'm just weary on the execution. That's just
and I when they talked about it, it's taking place in a city, essentially Paris, and they're
every time they pick a different city around the world in each game.
Okay,
each game. Because Charlotte and Violet was Spain, Sword and
Shield
was Portugal.
Sword and Shield was England.
There you go.
Yeah, because I was sure at one point I saw something that looked like London on the screenshots. So like that looks like London with Pokemon.
In general, it feels like this has been well received.
Yeah, because for the first time ever, they're trying something new. Wait, that's not fair. Pokemon Stadium was the last new thing they tried. Let me be clear.
Yes,
Pokemon Stadium was the last new thing they tried.
Wasn't that 20 years ago?
Yeah, 20 plus. And that was in 64. So I like the fact that they're actually trying to do something new in a mainline game. So that's actually something to behold. So, and like me, I didn't even really get into the Legend series because, in my personal opinion, they're offshoots. That's just because no one's playing it competitively. It's offshoot. But if they're trying to blend something new and actually make something that's actually legitimately competitive, and actually try to use this as a prototype of how they want the games going forward, we might have ourselves some gold.
Yeah, so I feel like with these announcements, there will not be a fresh new Pokemon game for the Switch launch.
And that's one of the problems. And this is why this is a problem here. Switch 2, first of all, is got to be the most lackluster gaming console since the Wii U.
Thank you.
It's got to be. And I'm including the Xbox derivatives and the PlayStation derivatives. And I'm talking about all time. It's got to be the dumbest thing since the Wii U. Period. I don't know. I don't know whose idea this was. Why would I just buy another Switch?
Yeah.
I'm very confused.
See, that's. I mean, I posed the theory about when it was officially announced about what is it, a month ago now? When it was official, when they rushed it out because the leaks were just too much for them to contain anymore. I posed it that is there a chance it could be the best selling of all time because people who with the install base of the Switch won. I got some pushback on it, but that it's a time will tell thing. There's going to be no answer for that for like a decade. So I just put it out there. But I am not a Nintendo guy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been since the Super NES because I checked out at the 64. I've had Nintendo consoles since then, but I bought them used well after their runs in their generation. And I played the games I wanted on them, and then I recycled them again because I don't really hold on to things. I just keep moving forward. Point is, I know that the whole idea of the Switch issue is not directed at me. I am not the target audience.
That's for sure.
But I look at it, though, and I think to myself, yes, you're making that push to get the install base, but there should be something to excite somebody to bring them back. Mm-hmm. And I see nothing to even get me remotely interested in the games because Nintendo is the king of first-party games. We can agree on that. They are the king, and that's why they're relevant because their first-party games are iconic and usually extremely well-made. Mario, Variations, Zelda, Metroid, all that shit is gold, and the Nintendo fans love it. But I still don't see a real RPG that gets me excited. I don't see a real strategy game that gets me excited because Nintendo doesn't care about that. Yes, there are there, but they are always so far down the line that why don't I just wait?
Is there any? Because I haven't really been keeping up with the story.
Mm.
Do they have official launch titles or
no? There's
so.
a Nintendo Direct, I think, in April.
Okay.
There are rumored ones like a new Mario, or like they are making a new Mario Kart being launched with the console. I don't think has been confirmed yet.
All we know is the new Mario Kart. That's all we know for sure. Mm-hmm. With possibly up to like 100 people to be in a simultaneous race in chaos.
Yeah, they're going something insane. I heard the number 24, but yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
I don't. That.
So that's all we know. A new Mario Kart game. I don't think that. I think that now that they've launched allowed the release to be known that it's coming, they were able to clamp down on the title releases. So that's why there's been no leaks on the launch titles. Yeah. And I don't think we'll hear about that till the Nintendo Direct next month. If it is next month, I think.
And if that's the case, then we'll see. But I think I remember I said a month ago. Like I don't think this was a very good idea. I don't like the design. I don't think anything about this works. It can sell if it's getting an exclusive Smash Bros. Is getting exclusive Smash Bros. It will sell like hotcakes. Mm-hmm. if a new Pokemon is being launched on it, let's say they didn't release a new Smash Bros. And it's a middling system forever until they release a new Pokemon game. Then I can see that the sales actually boost up.
I mean,
outside of that, I don't see it.
There'll be the Mario Kart. I feel like there'll be a Mario game, like a single Mario game. There has to be. You don't launch a new console on Nintendo without a Mario as your launch title. Mm-hmm. I think after having talked with you and Jet about this sometimes, I think there'll be a Smash Bros. I think there's been enough hints that they're going to do that.
It'll be significantly different, though, because the original creator has made it very clear that he's never making another one again. So we don't know if it'll, carry the same magic that the previous ones has. But it's, of course, going to sell insanely upfront, but maybe on the back end, there might be some drop-off since he's not involved.
I'm sure there'll be various quirky sports games involving Nintendo IPs in there Very, very. I don't think there'll be a Zelda game. It's too soon after Tears of the Kingdom.
And that's what I'm interested in. That's why I'm a Nintendo gamer, is because I absolutely love Zelda for its first party games. I mean, of course, Smash Brothers and Mario Kart as well. But yeah, without Zelda, I'm gonna wait until the next Zelda game comes out to buy a Switch 2.
Also, did we have a confirmation on the price, or is that just a rumor? $450?
I don't know if that's official. I think those are the
rumors. It's still
price,
rumors,
but it's still that makes sense.
I mean, that's up there for a Nintendo console. They usually come in under the price.
It's pretty par for the course for these days, though, with some of the other consoles that we've been seeing.
Yeah.
But no, I 100% agree with you, Dre, though, with what you said initially, is that this launch has been a little pathetic, honestly. Like, of course, the Switch 2 is going to sell very well. I don't think it's quite the Wii U situation. I think it should be, but I think the Switch love is so big right now that it'll have a greater initial success comparatively to the Wii U. But it doesn't bring anything to the table. A slightly larger screen, drift control fixed, or drift issues fixed in the Joy-Cons, that's not enough. This should have been the QLED or whatever they released, just a slight variation of the Switch, a little bit newer, next generation, but not the full next-gen console. I don't know how people are being so positive about this. It seems like nothing.
Well, I mean, you could say they're just fanboys, fangirls, stans even, maybe. I don't know. I mean, there is the term that, I mean, they call PS people ponies, Xbox Bros, and Nintendo drones.
And their quality isn't increasing. Like, normally I'm not a big person when it comes to quality and graphics and whatnot, but when you play a modern game on your PC or another computer or another console, it looks beautiful. But when you put it on the Switch, like the Mortal Kombat ones, the screenshots that everybody shares, but even Hogwarts Legacy,
I know what you're talking about.
It looks like it came out on the PS2, the same game. It's not good, the amount of graphic capability that the Switch has, and it doesn't look like the Switch 2 is going to get any better. But yeah, it'll sell well. There is hype for it. I just don't understand it, and I don't know what it's bringing to the table.
I've been able to take that out of my thing, the non-understanding part like you. I don't understand it either, but I've been able to take that little part out and be like, yeah, okay. I'm looking at it, trying to look at it with as much logic as I can, and like Alpha Omega says there, I think it's going to sell crazy.
Yeah.
I still think they shouldn't launch it in the summer. I think they should launch it in the holidays. But the rumors are true. They'll probably launch it around June, July, if the rumors are true.
Now, Dre, if the rumors are true, I don't think they necessarily are, but if these rumors were true, would this change your mind on the Switch 2, the dual screen add-on?
I was going to ask you about that next.
3DS games.
With backwards compatibility?
No,
so there's going to be an add-on. They're going to be selling like a second component that you can plug into the Switch, and it pops up a screen on top of it. That way you can play DS games. And I don't know if they'll be releasing new games of that dual screen set, but at least you'll be able to play a lot of the old catalog.
I mean, I had a lot of fun with the original DS when it came out, and I thought the idea was really good. And I think that'll actually bring a uniqueness back to Nintendo. And back then, DS had a bunch of cool RPGs too. Back then, a lot of what was that, like Fire Emblem and all them other, like a lot of great stuff, and which actually utilizes the double screen. Now they do something like that makes it like to be honest, a real gimmick back onto the Switch. I think that'll move the needle a bit for me, because I think that'll actually make it fun or unique instead of just trying to sell me the same thing with 8 more centimeters of screen.
Well,
no.
At the same time, you can see right here. Oh, my mic is blocking it. My Switch generally lives there in the dock, connected to my TV. I rarely take it out of the house for handheld. I have to be traveling or knowing I'm going to sit someplace for maybe 7 or 8 hours waiting for something for me to bring the Switch out. And then I'm not just going to play that. I'll bring a book with me too.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I even though I was there for the original Game Boy, shut up, I'm old, and I have done the Game Gear. I've done it all. I've done it all. Oh shit! I saw my water over. I've done it all. No matter how hard I've tried in my old man life, I just cannot get into handheld gaming. over and over again. I try. I come back to it. I just don't like having a tiny screen in my hand. I want to play games on a TV or a monitor. I want controllers. I want a real controller. I want a keyboard and mouse, depending on what I'm playing. I can't do it. It's a last ditch effort kind of thing for me. So it doesn't matter that they make the screen bigger, like Dre said. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, it's a marginal size increase, and I enjoy handheld gaming a little bit to a certain extent, depending on what I'm doing or not. But I stopped taking my Switch out of the dock, just like you, once I got my Steam Deck. Steam Deck is not as popular as the Switch, obviously, but it is better in pretty much every way. There's a way that you can get, you know, a normal computer setup, it's Linux, but an actual OS to go on the internet, do normal things on it. You can get your entire Steam library. You can get every PC game library like Epic Store. They all play on there. The graphics are great. The battery lasts longer. It's a bigger screen. It's got Xbox control setup. Like the Steam Deck is definitely, in my opinion, so much superior to the Switch that I don't understand why it hasn't really been that much of a success. Like, it's done fine, but it's not made a difference.
Isn't it pricey?
It's the same price as all the other consoles. Yeah, mine was the less than $350, and it was several years ago, but I don't have the newest model anymore. But yes, Steam Deck is amazing. I absolutely love mine. So when I need to, you know, handheld game or whatnot, if I want to, you know, watch a movie with Rachel on the couch, that's what I'm going to be playing on. I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 on there, and the graphics are perfect.
I have a suggestion for Nintendo. You stole everything else from Sega. Steal the Dreamcast controller. That's what I would
really
do. Yes.
Listen, all right.
Yes.
I know a lot of people put the Dreamcast on a pedestal, and I didn't own one, but I did have access to one while it was out, and I did play it extensively.
I got one hooked up right there.
I don't get the reverence. I really don't. Maybe just because I know.
I don't think I've ever
triggering people are down. I'm triggering people. I know.
So the Dreamcast had the VMU screen memory card thing. Take that concept, and this is. I'm just trying to get. Look, if Nintendo somehow hears this, I'm giving you a gimmick. If you're going to use this garbage design for a new Switch, give me something that actually, like Adam, I'm with you. Once I got the dock, I didn't really look back, except less like when I traveled out of the country, whatever, and I want something to play.
Yeah.
Outside of that, give me an immersive experience as if I am playing a console. I have the joint hooked up. Most adults like us actually have a controller because this is what the good Lord intended. Because because we're adults and don't want to be waving our hands around like morons. So give us a revolutionary controller with a legit screen on that mug, so we can like make different changes. Like we're playing an RPG, we can start making other strategies, be able to set up certain things. If it can be a gauge on like a speedometer, meter, whatever, looking at your friend, whatever. Give me something sexy with this joint. The idea of that, in enough, Nintendo loves gimmicks. This is a gimmick that would freaking work, because the only people I know that play Switch holding it are 5-year-olds. That's about it.
And girls.
And women.
And women.
Because they got tiny girl hands.
But that's about it. Everyone else that's actually playing Smash or playing Mario Kart or playing anything that's legitimately competitive or that they're in tournaments, they got one of these in their hands, or the holder that puts both of the joysticks in, something to that nature. People are still using their controllers for their Switches. Give me something that changes the control game. And then you'll have me here. Imagine if I'm playing a Pokemon game and like I'm thinking about my IV. Right, you don't know what that means. If I'm thinking about my stats, I'm like, oh man, who had what stats? And let's say I'm playing a tournament, or let's say I'm playing with other people, I can then check right on my controller. Come on, come the freak.
Well, there it is. Just to round this out, then Nintendo.
I was gonna say one of the things that, as much as I liked my Wii, one of the things that kind of got hesitant with was the whole moving your arms around like a silly person to do this, that, the other with various controls for various games. And it's, hang on, I'm doing this, and saying, no, you're not. Yeah, I am. So
I mean, the thing is this, and that kind of brings us to this point of the conversation. Nintendo was always known for innovation. They're the ones that always pushed the envelope in terms of trying to not only make it new, but expand the gaming audience. And that's why the Wii became a success, because suddenly it became way more normie friendly and it became family friendly. So all that shit. And the Switch, when they got to the Switch, that was unique. Suddenly you had the perfect combination of home console and portable console and in handheld. And it's great. I mean, like we just said, we can plug it in, we're happy. But the people who want to take it and walk it around with everywhere, they're happy too. It fed the beast in so many ways to keep it satisfied. And here it is, Switch 2. It's just the Switch 2. It's there. It really is just the Switch 2. Now I'm kind of glad they called it the Switch 2 and not the Super Switch, because it ain't nothing super about it. It's not. It's not a new innovation, and it begs to differ. And this is now just a general question, moving a little bit beyond this. What's the next innovation for gaming? Because now it's just tweaking graphics and tweaking control and whether or not you choose to go motion or sensitive or anything like that. I think in this here and now, we have reached the ceiling of game innovation until they make VR real, not just put a stupid headset on and gloves, until it gets to that next level shit, until they do something that, and I am against augmented reality gaming. I hate that shit. But until we get something that changes the level, but yet is still accessible to the public, not just for the elites. So now personally, I don't need any more innovation. I'm perfectly happy at my keyboard or mouse or at my controller in the console. I'm perfectly happy. All I want are good games. I'd rather let's focus on making good stories and good characters and building new franchises. Let's take time doing that and restabilizing the gaming industry in that sense, than trying to push it again, or like with towers or PC towers. Hey, here's our next gaming card, that graphics card that's going to cost another $2,000 for you to buy, and doesn't really do that much more. Listen, I think, and I've said this before, like the graphics card industry, it's a goddamn mafioso. They're goddamn cartel. Mm-hmm. They just want to squeeze you for more money for a little bit of improvement every damn time. I hate them for it. So there we go.
To answer your question, I think the next innovation in the gaming sphere is obviously the PlayStation Smell-O-Vision. Why haven't we been talking about that? That's clearly the next step. It's going to make it so much real and such immersive experience that we'll never forget it.
Yeah, I want to smell how sweaty and dirty all my characters are and what they're doing.
Surprisingly, people have been asking for it with Monster Hunter. I don't know what it is about that game that people.
No, it's the cleavage on your blacksmith. That's what it is.
You want to smell the cleavage?
Some people do.
But in seriousness, I absolutely agree with you. We're at a good place right now where we can't get a whole lot better until VR. VR is absolutely the next place where things are going to go. It's not anything more than a gimmick at this point. I do have a VR headset that I got gifted, and it's fun. It's enjoyable. I can't play it for too long because it starts to hurt your eyes after a little bit, even at the lowest brightness setting. So eventually we'll get to where VR is a legitimate contender, but we're still a ways away from that. I just wish that, we hit that peak. I wish that we weren't backsliding with games right now. If we could just maintain that, because it's not just with the writing quality, like you mentioned, which is absolutely a problem. Modern games don't look as good from a graphical standpoint as older games. Like The Witcher 3 looks better than Avowed that just came out, and Witcher 3 is 10 years old.
Skyrim looks better than Avowed.
That's true. But if we could just, maintain that peak, we got about, 2018. Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably a really good example of hitting that peak immersive wise. If we could just stay there instead of just backsliding, that would be what I would hope for innovation, is maintaining.
I mean, the thing is, I'm all for the revolutionary leap to real VR, where you're in there, point at me, say, shut up, weeb. I mean, I want the Sword Art Online type of thing where you actually link up and dive in and do that kind of shit. Of course, without the microwave. Yeah, that kind of not so much Ready Player One, because I don't want to do anything where I have to put something over my glasses. That's why I hated the whole 3D craze.
Oh, so more
movies.
like brain chip, so like
Not
it's
a
going
brain
straight to your
chip.
brain.
Not a brain chip.
Well,
I'm
not
saying
just,
Neuralink.
no, I just mean like a direct interface with your brain, so you don't
like,
need
just something that directly interfaces. I don't want a chip. Now, without, of course, the microwave shot to kill people and Sword Art Online. Let's not do that. Let's not do that kind of tech. But something that can interact with your brain, where people like me who have visual impairments, where we have to wear glasses, I don't like putting shit over my glasses. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. That's why I hated the 3D craze. Because my thought is, why do I want to put glasses over my glasses? Fuck you. That?
There were some hardcore people who got prescription 3D glasses.
Oh
God.
That's sad. That's sad. So I would like full dive technology, just to borrow the phrase from Sword Art Online. That's what I would want. But I would settle for Ready Player One, where at least they build peripherals that make you feel like you're in it.
Yeah.
I would settle for that, or at least you can get up in a rig where your movements or stuff, you're not just wearing little gloves and a little headset. I would settle for that. I wouldn't love it, but I would settle for that. But we're not that. The VR has to be the next thing. But like Jet said,
We're very far away.
It has to be the real thing. It can't be the bullshit of the Oculus. I'm going to say it, or the PS, or the Sony one. That's bullshit.
And we do have to point out, we're not as far away as some people think, though. It is far away, but not as far as people think, because Neuralink actually has been making a lot of progress. And I like how he's focusing it right now. As soon as he goes, like, everyone should get a Neuralink, I'm going to start to freak out a little bit, honestly. Yeah. But right now, he's like, hey, we're giving it to fully disabled people so that they can play video games without their hands. So he's already got it where these disabled people are using their Neuralinks to play Call of Duty-like games and be phenomenal at it. Like, they're very good at these games because it's just brain reaction, which is faster than hand-eye coordination could ever be. So the technology is being built for a fully interfaceable brain gaming experience.
Just worry about it. That's why I'm not going to go to Mars with Elon, because you'll have to have the Neuralink when you're there.
Oh, that's what's stopping you. Not the $100 million ticket.
I would still go if I could. I'd sacrifice my Neuralink.
King Elon, Neuralink me.
Neuralink me, daddy.
Oh, God.
There's all right, 42 minutes. That's 43 minutes. All right, there we go. All right, so I got more into that one than I thought I would. Good job, guys. Thanks. Second topic I threw in here at the last minute. Dre, you still watch wrestling, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You watched The Chamber last night?
I did watch The Chamber last night.
All right. Now, I found out about it as it was happening because, as I said, I was on Saturday, and at that point in the night, I'm just kind of scrolling. I'm doom scrolling while we're all yapping, and I saw what happened at the end. And that after 20 years,
yes,
John Cena, not just being anti-hero or thugonomics, he went full heel turn.
Yes, he did.
Last night. And how do you feel about this? Because I want to bring up a secondary problem. And listen, I am not into wrestling as much as I used to be. I'm barely in. It's tangential. I just keep a pulse on it so I know what's happening. Yeah. I'm not watching it. I'm not interested anymore. Not like I used to be, because it's moved beyond what I loved anymore.
Yeah.
And that's fair enough. But I am old school hardcore. We've had discussions many times. So
yes.
I want to know how you feel about that last night.
I think this might be the most significant moment in modern day wrestling since the birth of AEW, in my personal opinion. I've been booing John Cena for 20 years.
So you were on the Cena suck side.
Yes, I was on the Cena suck side.
I fully bought into hustle, loyalty, respect. I was all for Hero Cena. I dug it. Because he was the Hulk Hogan of a generation.
Yes, he was. Absolutely.
The ultimate face.
Yes. Like for what he did for the company and for the business and all that other stuff, and was able to actually launch, his careers outside of it. He did what was asked of him, and he did a great job.
Yeah.
My issue was that he was boring as sin. That was my issue with him ever since he was no longer the Doctor of Thugonomics. I love Doctor of Thugonomics. He was a anti-hero heel.
Yeah.
But ever since he was Super Cena, I hated him. I've been booing him for 20 consecutive years. 20 consecutive years I've been booing him. And like me, I'm a big heels guy. I love
You
when he had
are
Robert
okay.
Edge or Randy Orton or like I love heels. I love bad guys. They're the characters that make things interesting. But that's why like Stone Cold was so unique because he wasn't a heel or a face. He was the ultimate anti-hero that you're gonna cheer for anyway. Because he was like an F your boss type thing. But what happened last night was absolutely unequivocally fantastic. And I think it's arguably the greatest swerve in WWE history, personally.
I'm glad you said it that way. WWE history.
Yeah.
Because I have seen comparisons, and I was there when the original Ultimate heel turn happened. When Hogan walked into WCW and betrayed the Macho Man to side with the outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, and then broke my little Hulkamaniac heart and became Hollywood. And now, listen, this is big. I get it, and because I'm a wrestling historian to an extent, just because I watched it for all my life. I've never done deep research, but I'm just a viewer who's watched shitloads of it in my old man lifetime. As incredible as this, especially with the consideration that they've paired him with The Rock in his final boss run here.
Yeah.
That is considering their history.
Yes.
With their matches and all that shit. It's not bigger than Hulk Hogan going heel.
It's a very tough thing. And I understand the comparison.
People are saying it is, and I'm like, no.
Hold on. This is what I'm saying. I understand the comparison.
Yeah.
Because like you just eloquently put, John Cena was the Hulk Hogan of his era. The perennial baby face, kissing babies, hugging fat women. That was his thing. Yeah. And I understand why it's being compared. And this is why I'm explaining why it's being compared. Because that moment in WCW changed the industry. That moment changed the whole industry. And the moment that happened last night, though, do I personally think it's the same impact? No.
There are people saying it is, though. They're like, this is the greatest thing ever. And people are actually doing the greater than sign.
I've seen that too. The greater than sign. Now, granted, that's also from people that weren't there at the same time.
You made a great transition to that. And I understand they weren't there in 94 when Hogan heel turned, and he was the face. And to have him do the despicable things that he did as Hollywood, to betray Macho Man like that. You thought he's walking in to save him. He chases Scott Hall and Kevin Nash in the ring, and then turns around and does the leg drop. It's like, no, Hulkster, no.
And it broke everybody's heart. Now, we remember it that fondly because we were young then.
Yeah.
In 20 years' time, all those kids that saw what happened last night are going to be saying the same thing about that moment.
And that's why I am not yelling as hard, because it is a generational thing. Yeah. But it still is the second time. And and to your point, Cena going heel is not going to revolutionize anything. The only thing it does is prove that they have the balls in the Netflix era to do something like this. And congratulations for that.
Yes.
They're not good. But Hogan turning heel, that's what started the Monday Night Wars.
Yes, 100%. And that started the first major boom period.
Yeah.
The first one was the classic era, but the major boom period that launched the Attitude Era, that ended up launching Ruthless Aggression, all that stuff was because of that heel turn. Yes.
And because WWE had to take WCW serious for the first time in 20 years. They had to take WCW seriously. And now listen, I switched to WCW at that point. I switched. I stopped watching WWE. Yeah. And I was supporting Nitro versus Raw. I was a Nitro guy. Yeah. And then, of course, over the years, WCW dropped the ball. They fumbled. They handed the writers' room became shit, and they lost it completely. And of course they fumbled. The biggest fumble was the night where Mankind beat Taker for the championship, and they go, "Oh, we're live, and you can go watch the recorded Raw." Well, guess what? Everybody went and watched the recorded Raw.
Yeah,
and that's when things flipped.
Yeah,
right. And that was
a great moment when Mankind finally became champion. That was a great moment.
Yeah. So it was arrogance. WCW was winning, and then they got arrogant and they lost the ball, and then they fell
Yeah.
apart, and then we are where we are now, where all that is now WWE. Because when you see the tapes, it'll say WWE on it, not WCW, because Vince bought it. Bought it. So I'm excited for people who were enjoying it last night, both old school and new people. And I think it is a great way for John Cena to go out in his last run here.
I agree.
It's good, and to pair him with The Rock, who is great in there. I don't care about Dwayne Johnson outside the ring.
One does.
I just don't. He's not a movie star, and he's not interesting, and he's a kind of a crappy human being. But when he's The Rock, when he's doing the Rock shtick, hell yeah, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, and it was really good. And for the first time in a long time, the product that was put on last night was actually legitimately entertaining. I mean, a couple of the early card matches were kind of dumb, but like the two chamber matches, I really enjoyed especially the men's chamber match. Like they literally they were rewarding longtime fans.
Yeah, a lot of storylines were touched on. Cena,
they're rewarding a lot of longtime fans, people that were fans, maybe that stopped watching during the PG era and all that other stuff. They were rewarding a lot of goodwill, and I got to give them a lot of credit for that. Like having Cena and CM Punk get like 8 minutes to themselves in the chamber. That was great. Like a lot of that stuff was really, really good. The stories that's being told, that's weaved around them. Logan Paul got destroyed. Like it was
everybody wanted that.
Yeah, it was rewarding a lot of goodwill. So they really, really knocked it out of the park. And it's like the first time I was actually excited to watch the chamber. And they did very, very well. And like for the first time in a long time, I felt like the right people won. And that's very rare for an entire pay-per-view to be PLE, whatever they call it now.
Yeah.
To be framed the proper way and for the stories to go the way that, in my personal opinion, went exactly the way it should have in order to tell long-term storytelling. They did an excellent job. And the ending was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. I don't know who the rapper was.
I don't know who that dude was. I'm like, who's that dude standing behind?
Yeah, I don't know, but he was a rapper dude, and he slapped the crap out of Cody. I felt that. And his eye was swelling up after he hit the man in the face.
They busted Cody open.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, there was some color.
Put the watch on his hand. It was.
Yeah, they put some color on him, so that was good. I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Like everything about that ending. This is why everybody's talking about it.
Yeah,
because
and that's why we're talking about it, because it's just entertainment news and discussion. And even though I'm not into it, I have the knowledge to make it a something we can dig into. And I bring it up because even though I'm not watching it and I'm not into it and I ain't caring that much as I used to, wrestling is as relevant as it ever was as an entertainment media right now.
100%. 100%.
It's relevant. Yep. People want to talk about it. They want to enjoy it. They want to be into it. I want to get into it, but there's barriers that I just don't want to put the time or effort in. Also, because at the same time, I've been so disappointed by the video games for the past 6-7 years. Every time I try to play them, that was always an extension. I used to love to get the current game and play it and make my own roster, make my own characters. And the games just keep getting farther and farther away from catering to the way I want to play them, to making them normie friendly.
Yes. Yes. And that's one of the problems when it ended up getting bought out by 2K, which was
that was 2K12 is where it took a dip.
Yeah.
When it was SmackDown versus Raw, that was money.
Those were good games. And when Ukes was still running the joint, goodness.
When you could still create your own finisher.
Yes.
The minute they got rid of make your own finisher, I had dynamite figures. I was one into a fireman's carry into like a DDT.
That's pretty cool.
I called it the Heaven's Breaker. It was great.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
It was great.
I had one which was a 3 kicks to the nuts and then an RKO.
That's disqualification.
Not in my world. It's not.
Oh man! See, I had another variation was like a superplex into the a reverse superplex into the DDT. But so create your own thing. It was great. It was fantastic. and then they took it away.
Yeah,
and it's like I don't want somebody else's finisher.
Yeah,
because that's what makes it unique. So
exactly.
That's when I started getting it. And last time I tried, I think it was 2K22.
And you're not missing anything because 2K is just copy and paste each year. So
it's like EA. They don't make the effort.
Same thing. 2K, like the same thing. They're in the same bracket as Madden and all the rest of them. Copy and paste and move forward.
And you know what? Don't make me pay for roster updates.
Yeah.
Don't make me pay.
Yeah.
Give it to me. I already bought the game. Why are you making me get this extra roster update? Spend $12 on it. I'll go to the fans are making better versions anyway. I go down.
Oh, those are always great.
Yeah.
Games the fans make are always amazing.
Yeah. All right. I want to talk about that because it is relevant, and I wanted to get your take on because I know you're still watching it. All right, let's get into the real nitty gritty. This is likely the last time we're going to take a look at this because it is no longer relevant. Brave New World.
Ooh.
It's third week, just because it's going to lead into our other topic. Brave New World, week 3. Let's look at the damage, shall we? Okay, it is broken 300K. 300 million. It is broken 300 million. But it's still not good.
Oh my.
Is this third weekend or fourth?
This is, I believe, third week.
Oh, this is not great.
It only made $15 million
from
week to week. Let's look
at it. Lost over 300 theaters, it looks like, too.
Yeah, there
already.
It is. Yeah. So in the final week of February, it basically made bupkis. Made about, looks like 20. Well, we go from here to here. Made about 22 million.
It made a stick of gum.
Yeah,
that's what it made.
And last week, it looks like it added about, I think it added from around 50 million internationally.
Hey, it was definitely higher on the international side this week,
but it's slightly. It is now. It's essentially done. And remember, I said between 300 400 million. It might limp to 400 million. Might
depends on how long it stays in theaters at this rate.
Yeah, I mean,
this next week it might go below $1 million domestically in a day. It was already at 1.5. What is that, Thursday? This is gonna be glorious.
Thursday and Wednesday and Thursday, it was 1.5. I mean, it bumped up on Friday, which is Friday. You can expect a bump on Friday, but still, this is pathetic. No, this is sad. And you know what? A $15 million third weekend is what that is. Let's go back up here where it shows that
it's
it only
very sad.
$15 million on the weekend, and during the week made let's see, that's Friday, Thursday.
I am so happy. The thing that makes me most happy about the situation is even the fake ass number and the fake ass break even number that they gave us in the 400. They're not even getting to that, so we don't need to pull a Indiana Jones style of Destiny. Like, they made the budget back, but they didn't make any profit. We don't even have to do that. It's glorious.
This is the part that blows my freaking skull. You put out a fake number, plain and simple. A fake number for your budget that no one believes, that a newborn child, my unborn child doesn't even believe that. And you're going to sit there and still not make the money. That's wild. Even with your fake numbers, you still don't even break even. That's insane. Like folks, pack up, turn in your key cards. You're all fired. Just leave.
All right.
Leave.
You say that. So this is it. Chapter closed. I will not bring this up as a topic until it's out of the theater, and we'll see what it raked in. And also, we'll come back to it when we compare it to Thunderbolts and Baby Steps over the summer. So we're done with this one. But that leads me to our actual topic of the day. There were some leaks yesterday of concept art for Doomsday.
Right.
Have we all looked at these?
I've not seen the concept art.
Okay, all right. Then prepare to be underwhelmed and prepare to understand.
We do have to say we have no evidence that these are correct.
Yes.
They are true leaks. There is enough evidence to suggest that it's absolutely possible. Like the artist who release them does work on Doomsday, and she nuked her website after.
There's been a
these
lot
were
of quick
released.
fallout. Of
That
this.
is,
So there has been a response by Marvel, so that would lend to the credence
The
of these
same
leaks.
way we're going to talk when we talk about Kathleen Kennedy's story next. Events surrounding it lends credence to it. Now, these are rumors, it's not real, but if this is legitimate, if it's legitimate, I say they've learned nothing. Let's look at the first 4 right here. This is Doom and Court. Why is he wearing white?
Is this supposed to be Latveria?
Latveria, I guess.
This
Now,
looks medieval. There's a lot of medieval shots in these concept arts. I don't understand what that's about.
Now, I mean, yes, Doom wears white, but he doesn't wear white till he's God Doom in the Bastardized Secret Wars. He should be
green.
Yeah.
Well, they could be setting up, Secret Wars for Secret Wars, so he could already be God Doom.
Yeah, who knows? But this is for Doomsday.
You just start straight in with God Doom. Don't even build him up as normal Doom first.
Either way, this is not Doom. It doesn't. Some doesn't feel right. So here's the next one. So we got Star-Lord and White Vision chilling.
Yeah, where's White Vision been since WandaVision 5 years ago?
There's a show from Terry Matalas coming out.
No one's watching it.
No one is.
Are you ready for the female Ultron that's going to be in it?
Oh, I just saw that too. I did see that last night. You're right. There's Joster, something.
Jocasta?
I don't know. Whatever. Now, we do know Chris Pratt has said you haven't seen the last Star Wars. He actually said that last week when questioned about his involvement. So we know he's going to be there. So that lends more credence to this. We know Star-Lord will be in Doomsday and probably Secret Wars.
Why are they holding each other like that?
I don't know. Well, you got to remember, Star-Lord went home at the end of Guardians 3. He's just chilling. He's hung up his superhero spurs. And I guess Vision's stopping by in his Vision quest for humanity? And having a beer?
Vision quest of his butt cheeks.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, they want Peter to be gay so bad.
Well, they made him gay in the comics.
Mm-hmm. Of course they did.
Yeah. So we got this one. Oh, no.
Oh, this is the different version that I saw. The one I saw, he had his mask on and didn't have a cape.
That's a Chadwick Boseman right there. That's I don't know. This one makes me question about the legitimacy of it, because why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? I mean, they could CGI it. They could CGI it.
Unless they're doing that CGI nonsense. Bringing folks back from the dead.
Recasting someone who looks like him, and they hadn't cast the person yet when they were doing the concept art.
Mm-hmm. And there has been rumors that they're going to recast finally, because the bullshit is out. When you've recast everybody else under the sun, just recast Black Panther. So this like it's I like that Thundercats. So Castle Lions, not Castle Lions. No, that's Voltron. God damn it. God damn. I'm terrible. Too many little kid memories. Then okay,
you can turn this off.
Okay, yeah, Joe. We know how much you love She-Hulk.
We can turn this off.
I saw people saying this was the biggest upgrade of all time, comparing shots from She-Hulk at the end of She-Hulk with Hulk showing up with his son at the end versus this. Because I think that Scar on the right, or whatever his name is.
She-Hulk is the second worst show ever made. So it's second or first, 1A, 1B.
You put it at 1 last week. You said it was 1 last week.
Yeah, it was 1. Yeah, it's 1A. It's 1.
I mean, but
I don't want to see this no more. Why is this here?
Because this is the evidence. Now, how do you think it's a win showing us more tiny Professor Hulk? We don't. No one.
He's
wants
so
this.
small. Yeah.
Look how tiny he is. So
I miss the Incredible Hulk from the Incredible Hulk movie.
What am I seeing right now? They in medieval times?
It's like a Planet Hulk thing where they're all actually Hulk.
This is supposed to be Sakaar. Get the freak out of Get this trash off the screen.
So we don't know how this works. We don't know. So then there's that. So then here's the second one. This image is another image. And so we already saw right there. They've learned nothing. They've learned absolutely nothing in terms of showing us She-Hulk, this and that. But here's Here's the kicker that proves they know nothing. They've learned nothing of recent failures. Oh, look, Peter in the Young Avengers with Wong. Let's see.
By the time
Ms.
this
Marvel
comes out, these Young Avengers are going to be like 48. So,
but we've got Ms. Marvel, who I've heard a rumor now. We've heard rumors since Friday that she's going to appear in Daredevil.
Yep, I have heard
what'd you say?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of attention. She's going to appear in Daredevil.
Say that in my good ear. I'm sorry. I might have missed
Ms.
something.
Marvel will be in Daredevil Born Again. Rumor.
Hopefully it's just a poster of her somewhere. And
I don't know. So
if he comes to ruin to
we
show
got
this
Kamala Khan. And again, we're talking about the character, not the actress, for those who want to try and label what we're saying here.
Yeah, she seems sweet enough.
Oh,
I like that she said she stood up to Kevin Feige. That makes me like her.
Yeah, but we're talking about the character who nobody likes. Kamala
Agreed.
Khan is a failure of a character. Completely.
That's undisputed.
Okay, so look, it's the gay kid from Agatha.
No one saw that show, Adam.
Well, do you know who he is, Dre? They
That's
tried to
supposed
keep
be-
his identity secret, but yeah.
He's supposed to be Wiccan, right?
It's Wiccan.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
I'd
his
rather
brother.
just take this one.
His brother. Oh, look. It's bitch from Ant-Man and Quantumania, who nobody likes. Ant-Man's
And nobody
daughter.
saw that movie either.
Don't be a dick.
Don't
That
be
was
a
her
dick.
her contribution to the film.
So they've got that, and look, she's even got resting bitch face in this artwork.
Of course she does.
You could see it. She's got resting bitch face. And then you got Haley Stanfield, who everybody kind of likes, but we still don't care about. What's her name?
I really like her as an actress, but yeah, who cares about Kate Bishop?
Yeah, thank you, Kate Bishop. Nobody cares about Kate Bishop. So, and of course, somewhere in there is Portal Puncher, America.
Oh yeah,
Chavez.
Oh
She's in
God.
there somewhere because she's part of it.
She's under the table.
Huh? Nice.
Either way, so right here, this image alone, if this is real, and they're going to bring in these nuggets as and nuggets, they're not big enough to be called pieces of shit. They're just nuggets.
I want the show to be called Nuggets, not Young Avengers anymore. It needs to be like the Cosmic Nuggets or something.
Cosmic Nuggets. I like that. Cosmic Nuggets. But it's just kind of deep when you just really look at this. I mean, like, none of this makes you. I remember when concept art used to get me excited. And the concept art used to be like, oh, look, I wonder what they're going to do with this character. I wonder what they're going to do with that. This is trash. Nothing about this moves the needle. This is from a phase. Are they even doing phases anymore? Is that even a thing anymore? I know. I don't hear the term anymore.
I think they gave up on it. I think they gave up on it.
Yeah,
So,
Phase
I
4
don't-
just sort of ended and did nothing.
Yeah.
Like they're calling it
Because
the
Phase
Multiverse
4
Saga
was-
right now, though. 4 and 5 are the Multiverse Saga. Maybe Phase 6 as well, but
Yeah.
This is a disaster.
It's a disaster because nobody wants any of this, but they're going to put it in there anyway. So I don't want to hear and then Wong. Listen, we like the actor's fine, the character is fine, but the Sorcerer Supreme
Yes,
is
busted.
Dr. Stephen Strange, not
Yeah.
Wong. What are we doing here? Why are we doing
Benedict's too expensive.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. All I know is that no lessons have been learned. They're still shoveling the schlock.
Ooh.
They still are going to be pushing these stories, these characters that nobody's invested in. And if it's true that RDJ will be in baby steps at the very end and he's going to be the cause and the ruin of the world,
Baby
and
steps.
there's no buy-in for any of this. Because now we showed the collapse, the ending here of Black Vault and Captain America. Thunderbolts, we've talked about how that's not going to be anything. And when we get to baby steps, no, nobody's interested. Because now when the next trailer for that comes out, probably I would say in a month or so, because they have to keep some sort of momentum. Excuse me. I bet when they do Thunderbolts, they'll drop a trailer so they can have the trailer in the movie in theater. That's my guess when they'll drop another Baby Steps trailer. when they drop Thunderbolts. So they say, "Oh, look, you're going to see a Thunderbolts movie. Here's the Fantastic Four trailer." Do they continue to hide Femme Surfer?
They have to. They literally have to. The moment that broad shows up on screen, the projected box office drops another $150 million. The moment they put her on screen, because with the teaser trailer, like a lot of people said, like it was unoffensive. There was nothing really in it. It did what it was supposed to be, as in give you a tease for what is to come. The moment you start showing the content, this film is going to tank like the Titanic in the middle of the ocean. All right, it's going to tank because we already know the content is going to be bad. We don't want no Lady Silver Surfer. No one wants it. Zero people. Zero people want Lady Silver Surfer, and zero people want to see Galactus be humiliated on screen.
A one-shot
no
Galactus.
One wants to see these things.
One shot.
Oh, you know he's gonna be one-shotted.
Yeah.
And like no one wants to see these things. And you've already given us enough in the teaser to know that this is the stuff that's gonna happen. The moment you put that out there, you lose everyone. If I was them, the only thing I would put in is like snippets of like them getting their powers by the cosmic rays. That's the only trailer I would drop from this point forward. Because if you put any other form of content, and see Mr. Fantastic stretch for God's sake, and I put those things in it. Outside of that, show nothing. Show nothing. Adam, you remember when Godzilla came out, the 98 Godzilla? Those trailers were the vaguest trailers in the history of this country. Period. Them don't show nothing. You saw an eye, you see a tail, you might see a foot. And then all of our banners, like on the side of buses, is like his face is the size of this whatever.
Yeah.
They did the trickiest to get everybody into the theater.
Because they knew. They knew
that movie was dog water with a side of Kentucky biscuits. It was trash.
I did so much cope coming out of that movie. Trying to
Cope or Coke?
Cope.
I heard Coke.
I heard Coke.
I
heard Coke.
Cope. That's getting clipped. I did so much cope coming out of that movie, trying to convince myself that I just saw a Godzilla movie. So, oh, that was the radioactive fire there at the end. I worked so hard trying to myself, and it didn't last long. I knew it was. The
movie was horrible. The best thing that came out of it, unfortunately, I'm going to go ahead and admit this, was the Puff Daddy tape that came out with it. That
careful.
I know. I'm dancing. There was a soundtrack that came with it for the movie. There was a couple of good songs on there. That's it. Outside of that, all of America and the world was tripped into going to see that film.
To be honest, I would rather be watching that over the 2014 Godzilla film, and I'm probably going to get a lot of pitchforks waved at me for that.
I didn't like that movie either.
Yeah.
I didn't like that 2014 Godzilla movie. I love Godzilla King of the Monsters. That was great.
Yeah.
But 2014 Godzilla was terrible.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. They can't trick anymore because it's actually against the law to trick, to misinform in a trailer now. It's against the law. You cannot put out a trailer that lies to the public. So you either show stuff that's actually in the movie or don't show anything at all. Like Dre said, don't do anything at all. But the problem is Hollywood has to show you a trailer that ruins the entire movie now. Because what did we talk about when we were talking about Black Fall Captain America? If you watch the trailers, you saw the whole movie.
Yeah.
It was all there.
There's got to be a middle ground. Come on, people.
Yeah, it's not hard.
No, Jed, there can't be a middle ground because you're producing trash. That's the problem. Like me and my wife, whenever we're about to watch a movie, we always just watch the trailer. Usually a movie we haven't seen or whatever. It has an interesting title. I said, let's watch the trailer. If I see every plot point in this film, right in this trailer, we know it's trash. And that's the way it is. A trailer that is actually going to suck you in gives you just a little bit of sniff, like Adam with his cocaine, just a little bit of it, and then it'll be like, hey, you know what? I'm interested in seeing more of this. You can go back and watch any of those great movies all time. In those trailers, you only get just enough to get you involved. These modern films, the overall majority of them, is pretty much scratch and sniff, and it's garbage. So this is what they have to do. It's either give it everything or try to trick you into the theater.
I mean, I remember when I think it was Avengers Age of Ultron, the trailer for that, it showed a dark, serious, gritty film. The film itself ended up being anything but, and a lot of people, myself included, complained about that. And it was the same thing for Iron Man 3. I nearly walked out of that film halfway through. I was like, yeah, I don't like this. Unfortunately, my dad was my lift home, so I couldn't walk out at the time. So, but yeah, a couple of examples as to why, understandably, people are going to get annoyed if you show something in the trailer and it ends up not happening in the film and it's basically a lie.
Well, they can't do that anymore. Is the thing. They're not allowed to. They literally cannot. So it's either in the movie or it isn't, or just don't show it. But they're trapped because, like Dre said, they can't. They have to show these things because they don't know any other way anymore. They don't know any other way to try and at least generate some level of buzz or conversation or interest. And they're shooting Doomsday as we speak in England right now. They're shooting it now. We will know the budget eventually because of Britain rules when it comes to taxes. They won't be able to hide the budget like they did with Black Bolt and Captain America and every other one. And I think we talked about it last week. They have a problem. And I've been saying this for years, but as we get more evidence now, will there be a genuine buzz, a genuine fervor when they finally get to Doomsday? Not even Secret Wars. I'm not even bringing that shit up. Doomsday. I don't feel it.
They still have the RDJ spark. So I think that's enough to get the normies a little wet in their pants. I think that's the only thing that they have to ride that train. That's the only thing they got. Phase 4 killed the franchise. Period. Let's just call a spade a spade. Yeah. The franchise was beaten to death, buried, and then set ablaze. It's dead. Only thing they have left right now is to ride the RDJ train because he carries so much goodwill. He carries goodwill. Like we spoke of earlier, like we bring back an actor that you love or a wrestler that you love or whatever, the nostalgia bite. The nostalgia bite is enough to get the normies be like, hey, I liked Iron Man, or I loved Infinity War. I loved Endgame. Granted, these are all great films. I want to see RDJ again because he made me feel good in my tum-tum. So that's the best they got.
But the problem is this is an Iron Man. It's an Iron Man variant that'll be called Victor Von Doom, who isn't actually Victor Von Doom. Because they're going to do some crazy shit where he was adopted by the Von Dooms and took the name Victor. That's what they're going to do.
God, that would be awful.
Don't do that.
No.
Don't say it out loud.
How else can you say that he looks like Tony Stark but is Victor Von Doom?
Adam, the deities are listening. Don't do this.
Well, they're listening. It's already done. Whatever they've done, it's already been done. I'm simply trying to speculate at this point. Because Baby Steps is finished, and they're working on Doomsday right now. Unless they scrap it. Here's the thing.
Whoop.
Doomsday they can't do reshoots on this shit. They can't do Black Falcon reshoots 5 times. They're on a timetable here. They know that the little trail of gunpowder that's leading to the dynamite, it's sizzling away. There's no stopping this. The train has left the station. They have to put this out. They cannot delay it. So here we go. They're going to have to do this. They can't afford more than like one set of reshoots on this movie. They can't.
Fair enough.
Both figuratively and literally. They don't have the money for this shit anymore.
It's also
because
true.
they haven't made money. Because listen, all the money they made last year for Inside Out 2, talking Disney, Inside Out 2 and Deadpool Wolverine, it's been spent. It's been spent. There's no way that shit has carried over this long. It's done. It's over. It's gone.
No, that money's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But My only pushback is that Doom. Look, I can't even say Doomsday is going to do well, but I think this movie
500 million. Saying it now, 500.
Total?
Doomsday, 500 million.
Domestic and international.
Yeah.
Wait, the box? I thought you were saying the budget. No.
No. Oh, budget. The budget's gonna be nasty. No, I'm saying gross, 500 to 600 million. I think that's how weak it is. I think that's how weak it is. I'm gonna say it right now.
I wouldn't go that low.
I give myself room to adjust depending on stuff that comes out going forward, but that's how weak I think it is at this point. Nobody cares.
I can see that number being the budget, but
this is not $1 billion movie.
I mean,
absolutely not. I'd say 700 is where I'm trying to be safe.
I'm gonna lowball the hell out of this shit. I don't care.
Yeah, I see that. This man's 500 off the gate.
500.
That's what I'm saying. Like the RDJ and it's the Russos. The Russo brothers.
Yeah.
Right?
Which they still have a lot of goodwill from the Marvel community.
A lot of goodwill is being carried with this film. Not saying that this film is going to be the greatest movie of all time, but there's a lot of goodwill and there's a lot of nostalgia cocaine that's just being.
I don't know, man.
Between it's a lot, Adam.
The failure of every movie this year, plus the failure of every TV show that's going to come out between now and then. Riri Williams.
Oh God.
Vision Quest.
No one's talking about that trash, Adam. We know that stuff isn't real.
You yourself said last week, Daredevil will not move the needle.
It won't.
You yourself said last week.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any goodwill from the current day product that will carry over to this movie.
I agree with that, but that's what the nostalgia's for, Adam. That's what I'm saying.
But what nostalgia's there except for RDJ?
That's what they need.
But I don't think that's enough.
I don't think Adam, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's going to be a heck of a crapshoot all the same because RDJ carries a lot of goodwill. The Russo brothers carry a lot of goodwill. I think it's enough to get the normies' butts in seats. That's what I'm thinking. The hardcores are probably gone for good, more than likely. But the normies, because of who it is and the last memory, because remember, Adam, normies haven't watched none of this Phase 4 crap either. No. We got what's that? Hideo
Kojima.
Yeah, we're saying like I don't know what the heck is going on.
Oh yeah, I laughed at that.
Exactly. Like he doesn't know what's going on, and he's elbow deep in everything. He didn't know what the heck is going on. If he doesn't know, the normies don't. So as far as I'm concerned, they skipped all this crap, and they're like, "Hey, RDJ's back."
But then they're not going to know what's going on in this movie.
They don't care.
Oh, yeah. Their reaction's going to be terrible, I imagine, and the word of mouth will have it drop off. But yeah, I agree with Dre. There's going to be a lot of initial interest in it because, normies haven't been following this. There are plenty of normies who just watch the Avengers films and just say, hey, I don't know what's going on, but I like the pretty action with a lot of the actors that I'm familiar with. I know people who have only seen the 4 Avengers movies and none of the other Marvel movies. Like, I really enjoy them. Yeah, absolutely.
Really? Wow.
So I think there will be initial positivity for the idea of going to the theater, like an initial boost, not anywhere near what it should be, not anywhere near what any previous Avengers movie's done, but there's enough of a lack of knowledge from the broader normie base that'll have a push. It'll have something initially with RDJ, with the Russos, and with the word Avengers being on the poster.
I agree.
It's going to get a little.
In my opinion, Adam, it's
still going to lose shit
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Deadpool and Wolverine was just literally a nostalgia bump, and it don't made $1 billion.
Everybody knew that was going to be nostalgia bait movie. The movie, we all knew.
But we all went anyway. That's what I'm saying.
Because we wanted to. I don't think people want to with this.
I don't know, Adam. I don't know.
Listen,
I think
we're going to need to see trailers before we can make firm stances. Either
I agree with that.
Listen, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm making the bold statement now. It's my job to do that, and I will. I listen because I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. God help us with Avatar. So I mean, but I'm gonna play this game. I've already played this game for the whole year with a bunch of these movies. I'll play this game with this one. Now, what is the release date? It's not 26 for this movie, is it? Is it 27 for Doomsday?
26, I think, for Doomsday.
Really, 26 Doomsday?
Yeah. Secret Wars 27.
Okay.
They got a lot of work to do then to get this shit ready for 26 release.
Yeah, they do. They got a lot. They got a lot to do, and like, this is a major undertaking on their part. I mean, I get it. They're like, to say that they've lost is not even. That's not even hyperbole anymore. Like everybody's doing better than you. I'm doing better than them because I end in the black every year. Okay, so I'm doing better than them right now. But the thing that the whole thing about this film, it's not even hinging on if any of the other films are good or TV shows. All these other TV shows are good because no one is watching them. Adam, you yourself has been studying the downfall of all those Disney Plus shows for years now. Like nothing is even charting anymore. No one is watching the garbage. But the fact that RDJ's back, Russo's back, and the whole feel of it's Avengers again, and we're gonna have fun again, the normies are coming.
I see, but that I'm gonna my equation looks like the fact that because nobody's watching, because there's no discussion outside of the Stan circle jerking on X Twitter.
Of course.
That lack of energy will damage this movie.
Sure.
100%.
I think.
Sure.
And I think it's gonna be more significant than what you're saying right now. I think it's gonna be a lot worse because there is apathy. That's what I think.
So you think that the damage that's done with all the garbage is going to outlast the nostalgia bump that RDJ would bring?
One failed movie after another this year. They're going to have 3 bombs this year, each one of varying levels, but all 3 of the movies here, at least we predict on this show, we think they're going to do poorly. We've already seen one, and it's like it's one of the worst of all time for the MCU. Thunderbolts is not going to do great, and I still say Baby Steps is not going to do great either. I think
none of these movies are going to make any money.
Yeah, so they're going to have a disastrous year for these movies. Add in the non-interest in the TV shows. Add in no video games anymore. No games. Comics don't even count. They don't even move the needle because they're not even connected. They can't even pair comic accurate shit to the movies. They can't even get interested in that. There's nothing going on there. I think the general lack of enthusiasm, a general growth of apathy will lack the energy necessary to get everybody, to get the normies excited and interested in mass to come out for it, despite whatever. Because here's the thing. Every normie knows that Robert Downey Jr. is Dr. Doom. They will not show his face in a trailer. You cannot show his face in the trailer. You cannot take Doom's mask off. If you do, you're fucked. You just ruined the entire mystique of it all if you show his face.
I can bet just about anything I own that his face is going to be shown in this film.
But it would be a clean face. It wouldn't be a Doom is scarred. He's disfigured.
Well, Marvel's never known how to keep a tease going in the marketing or in the film itself. The one I always look to is I think Civil War would have been such a more enjoyable experience and an insane experience if they hadn't released the Spider-Man tease in the trailer. Like you didn't know Spider-Man was going to be in it, and then you meet Peter Parker with Tony, and you're like, oh shit, is this is Spider-Man. We're doing it. And then you see him swing in, catch the shield. It would have blown out the theater, like full on Cap picking up Mjolnir and Endgame level of hype. But Marvel's never been able to, restrain themselves from releasing everything in the trailer. So yeah, we're going to see his face in the trailer. There's going to be a tease at the end of a trailer where he takes off his mask and Tom Holland Spider-Man is going to go, Mr. Stark? And then cut to black, and that's how one of the trailers is going to end.
Such a mistake. That is such a mistake. Because first of all, it's corny and it's cheesy, and it's going back to everything they've tried to distance Tom Holland Spider-Man from. No more Iron Spider-Boy. Nobody wants that. People want him to be Spider-Man. And if they go back in that direction, which they will because they don't know any better, it's a mistake. And I think that would turn a lot of people off, Jed.
Really?
And like that. I think if they do that, people will go, oh, no, not this again. Not this again. So we're not going to get a trailer for this at least until the fall. We don't see a trailer for this at least till fall, maybe around Christmas. I don't know. because they're going to be filming for the next 4 or 5 months right now. And then there's reshoots and this and that and whatever. And post production CGI. So we're not going to we'll get tidbits. We'll in the next month or so we'll probably get a few set leaks here and there. But we're not going to have any definitive to actually make a real case for outside of my predictions, your predictions here and there. So, but I don't think they've learned lessons. I think they're going to make all the same mistakes, and we'll see whose equation works out in the end, which is fun. Hey, look, wow, I thought we were an echo chamber. I thought we all had the same opinions and everything. I thought that we all had to agree on shit. No, there's a divide here on how we think this is going to go, and I'm very curious to see how it turns out now. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to watch this movie. I am not saying that. I'm not saying that at all right now. We'll see where I am, what the channel's doing a year from now when that shit comes out. All right. We'll see. We'll see if I need to even bother. But I don't think this is a success that the shills and the stands are going to say it's going to be. This thing is going to be, I'm going to say it's probably going to be the worst performing Avengers movie to date compared to the previous 4. It will.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah, I think that's a given.
All right. Before we get on to watching the Doctor Who season 2 trailer, because we're gonna do that next. Jay Fraser 360 for 5 British pounds. Hail round table. I'm catching up, but with John Cena's heel turn at Elimination Chamber, I wanted to ask the wrestling aficionados, what is the best heel turn and face turn? Well, we already said best heel turn ever is Hogan turning Hollywood.
Yeah,
that's the best heel turn. Face turn. Dre, why don't you go first?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's always the one I have to really focus on.
Yeah.
I think. No. Never mind. When Stone Cold turned face, when him and Bret Hart, when they did the flip, when Bret Hart turned heel and Stone Cold turned freaking face in their Mania match. That absolutely 100%. That's the greatest face turn. 100%.
I'm thinking
100%.
real hard here. Greatest face turn. Because it's, you know what? Oh, wow. That's so hard.
It is tough.
Because I'm trying to think of, it has to be somebody who was a hardcore heel.
Yeah.
And you have to think, did they go full face or did they just go slight anti-hero? And
that's a tough one because it's not something you really think about.
It's nothing from the 80s because there was not that dynamic back then.
No,
it
wasn't until the 90s. It wasn't until 90s or Japanese wrestling that was even actually happening. It was like the turns from face to the heel to face. I mean, if you want to consider Macho Man.
I was just thinking that, but he was still always kind of the madness. He was still always kind of, when he's Macho King, he was never quite face again.
Until like when Miss Elizabeth comes to save him from Sensational Sherry, and like he kind of does a face turn there, and I think that's a very beloved face turn. I think that's very beloved.
But it's not the best
because during that time period, that was the best you're gonna get, especially with certain characters, because there wasn't really that many heels and faces actually changing.
Yeah, it's not until the late 90s, in the 2000s, when you had a lot of upheaval, when people would start to change back and forth. And I'm just trying to think, because there were times where I took breaks, so there are gaps, especially in the 2000s. There's a couple of gaps in my direct knowledge of what's going on. And I'm just trying to think of, based on just, like I said, I'm trying to decide if it was a heel turn, if he went full face, or if it was just anti-establishment. Because I don't want to say, like when CM Punk did the pipe bomb, that wasn't a face turn. That was anti-establishment.
Yeah, that was more anti-hero.
That was epic as all hell. But it wasn't face turn. It was anti-establishment. So I can't use that one. And I can't really use anything from Triple H or Shawn Michaels because they fluctuated too much for a period of time. And then they were always more anti-establishment. They weren't faces. Oh man,
That's a good one.
I the closest I can say is maybe a. I wanna. I can't pick a good heel to face because they all were temporary and momentary and more exciting. Like, I mean, Ric Flair did a bunch of face turns.
He was always a heel.
But he's like Mount Rushmore heel, style and profiling forever. So man, I need more time. I have to go through. I have to watch things in my memory. I have to watch pay-per-views and shows and go through it all. Nothing immediately jumps out because you need a moment where somebody flies in to save somebody where you didn't expect it, or turns around and saves them. And they aren't. I would say nothing is as epic as a face to heel.
Yeah,
a heel to face is never as epic. I mean, even when the Miz went face for a little while, it was milquetoast because the Miz is was a great modern heel because the crowd hated him and we'd love to hate him because it was awesome. This was awesome. So I can't do it. Jay Frazier, I'm sorry, I don't have a real answer for face to heel or heel to face. I don't, because it's never as epic because it never breaks anything. And Jed is bored out of his mind right now. So.
I have no idea what a lot of this means. I mean, it's not wrestling, but the best face turn I've heard about was Kurt Cobain.
Oh God!
God,
all right,
Jed,
ruined it. It's over.
Why are you here?
You're welcome.
I mean, it would have taken. Here's the. It's never happened. Never really happened. You would have needed like Randy Orton to go full face for that. That would have been an epic turn, but he never has. He's gone rogue, where he's not full on heel and he's just equal opportunity Viper striking everybody out of nowhere. But there's never. I mean, and the Rock again, flip flop. It's never.
I mean, but there's certain characters that transcend heel and face.
Yeah,
there's certain characters like The Rock. At this point, Randy Orton. Right now, Randy Orton can kick everybody in the nuts and RKO.
I just want to just punt,
and everyone's going to cheer.
Give me the punt. You want the punt. That's a problem.
Yes.
You want him to line up and punt somebody in the head. You want
because
that.
he's transcended. He's transcended because he was a heel for so long that his actions are no longer heelish. He's transcended it.
Yeah. All right, that's the best I can do. Yeah. Okay. All right, Jed. Fire it up.
All right. So there's a little bit of lead up I want to do to prepare you guys for this trailer. So this last week, we finally got the release date for Doctor Who along with a poster. Want to just lead into that a little bit. We talked about it last week briefly, but it's only like a month and a half before the release that we're getting the release date, the poster, and the trailers. Because we've gotten minor teases, but for season 2, but this is the first real big trailer. There's something wrong going on with the marketing because we get Pink Doctor Who a month and a half before the release, whereas the previous season it was well over 2 months, wasn't it?
They were just spamming shit constantly.
There was so much. There were multiple trailers, there were multiple teases, there were posters, there were
Billy Gibson's release tits were everywhere.
Absolutely, they were everywhere. I mean, that probably was about half the viewership, and then when they realized that they weren't, showing them off, accenting them, that's when the viewership started to drop off.
They closed that poor girl up too much in that.
Well, there's some news I want to talk about before the trailer because it's shown in the trailer, and I think you guys need the context before you see it. So we got this article from the Mirror talking about an episode that's going to be in season 2. It is basically Eurovision in space, and it is going to be the most expensive episode of the show ever made. There's more details to that, though. There's more. Apparently, there's going to be a shit ton of cameos. Like Graham Norton's going to be in it, and it's the episode written by Adam's favorite writer for season 2, the one he's looking forward to the most. The transgender writer who has no real experience in television is writing Eurovision in space. Right. And it comes out the same night as the real Eurovision. They coordinated the release for that. I think that's why the release date was so early for this season, so that Eurovision and Space Eurovision could happen on the same day.
That's sad.
the reason I point this out is we're going to see some of the footage from that episode, and you need the context that the transgender writer did it, and that it's the most expensive episode in the show's history, which is impressive considering with Disney's involvement in the last season and this season, the budget's exploded with reports up to $10 million an episode, which is not okay for the show, especially when they look like crap from a CGI perspective, set perspective, everything. So I think we're prepared for this. Do you guys feel prepared?
Oh, I'm always prepared for a little bit of shooty.
A little bit of shooting. Oh, and so before we dive into it, Dre, do you remember we were talking about her just a moment ago? Big Tits McGee's version on Doctor Who. What's her name? Rose? No, Rose is the trainee. Ruby. Ruby Sunday. Rose is the tranny. It's so confusing. But Dre, so they think they're very clever. The blonde chick who was the companion in the first season, her last name was Sunday, and this Indian chick that we're going to see in season 2, her name is Monday.
Monday, but everybody says Monday, so got good.
They're so clever, Dre.
Yeah. All right.
It's spelled with the U though, so it's better.
Yeah, let's do it. All
right.
We haven't seen this.
Forces beyond this universe. We think we are so clever. But we're like children. And when these vast...
What?
I have no idea what I just saw there.
Is that Kate Stewart?
Yeah. She's going to be in the season. She's right there.
Okay.
But I don't know what this Cthulhu monster is supposed to be. And the what looked like an all-female skinny Marine unit that we saw a moment ago.
Is this Doctor Who?
Supposedly.
No, it's not. It's not.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
Annihilation. I'm like, where's Natalie Portman?
Oh my goodness. All right. Go.
And when these vast creatures look down on us.
Oh!
What?
What
Is that a dinosaur?
What's going on here?
It looks like it has a nose ring. It's a gay dinosaur.
It is a gay dinosaur.
Can they please scroll back to Shooty there?
Oh God, too far.
Way too far.
Yeah. Can you please decide?
He does not suit that look. He does not suit that look. I'm sorry.
Can you please decide on a look for him?
Mm-hmm.
For God's sake.
And stick to it.
What's his doctor signature look? He doesn't
I was just about to ask that because, I can't remember all of them. There was one that's Capaldi.
Capaldi. Yep.
He had the scarf.
What?
No. That's Tom Baker from the 70s.
Tom Baker. Tom Baker had the scarf.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They all have something that, like a jacket or something that they have that
they pretty much have one costume
or style. I mean,
style.
Slight variations on it.
I mean, David Tennant had variations on trench coat and suit.
But I've seen him in a tutu and a suit and a Charlie Chaplin hat and a stripper outfit. Like I don't understand what's going on.
The doctors at their peak, when they're at their most powerful in every season, they have a look, and that's kind of a thing. Like even when Capaldi was at his weakest, was during hoodie time, but then for the final run, he actually put his best look back on, looking good. They haven't had Shooty in a single style once. They said it was going to be in his weird V-neck with the necklaces and the jewelry.
He's worn it like twice.
Yeah, he wore it in the premiere, and he wore it in the last Christmas episode. Mm-hmm. That was it.
Well, and yeah, Doctor Who's outfits in the show for the Doctors is vastly important. They're usually revealed in the moments where the audience has to go, yes, that is the Doctor. Those moments usually come in hand. Like Matt Smith, he spent the entire episode in the tattered versions of David Tennant's outfit because he just regenerated, right? And then at the end, he's getting dressed, ready to take on the Atraxi, and he puts the final touch on. They do a wide shot, and he just goes, hello. I'm the Doctor. And everyone just goes, yes, you fucking are. Those moments are iconic. They're very important. David Tennant's was slightly different. He was in his pajamas during the yes, you're the Doctor moment, but still, when he got the outfit on, came to Rose, that was a more intimate moment because it was the moment that she realized he was the Doctor. The smile that they shared together was a lot more intimate than Matt Smith. But yeah, every time you see the Doctor in their costume for the first time, it's supposed to mean something. It's supposed to matter. I mean, the Jodie Whittaker one was absolutely terrible. If you guys remember that, she actually went to a department store and was trying on a bunch of clothes while her three companions were like, "No, girl, that doesn't work for you. Oh, you got to try this." And it was like this catty fashion show. And then she ended up putting on a rainbow T-shirt, khakis that went just below her knees, and this weird white trench coat looking thing. And she's
Suspenders.
like, oh yeah, and the rainbow suspenders, and it was just gross. But yeah, he's never had a moment like that. When we saw him in that supposed outfit, he just was sort of in it in Millie Gibson's first episode. Like, they didn't really show him picking it out or coming out in a triumphant moment. He was just in a gay club, walks out and is like, "Oh yeah, I want to get snowmaned."
What does that mean?
Oh, you need to look that up. This is not Ballbusters. We are not talking about that.
He snowman falls on him like a display snowman, and he's like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting to get snowman tonight." And let's just say it is a homosexual sex act. We won't go into details, but it is an actual thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You said enough.
So
I don't need that in my search history.
This ain't working.
No,
this ain't working.
Yeah, he wears a different costume every episode.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
Look down on us. Our entire reality is in danger.
So what's your name?
Just the Doctor.
All right then. I'm called the nurse.
They're so clever.
Why does he have a fro again?
The what? What'd she call herself? The nurse?
The nurse. The nurse. He's the Doctor, so she's the nurse.
Is that what we're gonna call her? The nurse?
God.
I miss when companions had epic names like the woman who walked the earth, the girl who waited, the impossible girl, as much as Clara had her issues, and the most important woman, Bad Wolf. These companion nicknames were epic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm the nurse.
I wish.
And then the gay one for Bill.
The gay one. That's what she was, the gay one. I miss when the companions were in awe of him.
Mm-hmm.
And realized that despite this human aspect, this human appearance, I'm in the presence of essentially a god.
Mm-hmm.
I miss that, but no, it's always snark. Snark, snark, snark. Hate it. No respect. No respect at all.
They might initially, just think he's a normal man, but once the broader universe, the broader character is introduced to them, they all are just overwhelmed by it. Some people just freak out and lose their minds going into the TARDIS for the first time. Like, it's a big deal, and the companions are the ones he picks who can handle it and eventually get over that. But yeah, his companions, even Clara during the late Capaldi run, was just always so mean to the Doctor. Like, yeah, I'm his carer. I take care of this sad old man. I teach him how to be a good person. He's so dumb. Oh, the Doctor, he's an idiot. I'm the smart one. I'm the good one. I'm the important one. We don't want to see that with the Doctor. He's 2,000 years old, at least at the end of the Capaldi run. He shouldn't be being berated as an idiot. He's the best mind in the universe at this point.
Yep. And just to mention, since we're getting a decent look at it here, the TARDIS interior always says something about the Doctor. This sterile hospital room of a TARDIS. There's no personality. Oh, the circle things. I like the circle things. Yeah, we all like the circle things, but give us something else.
Oh,
yeah, it's so sterile. Sometimes we get the pink colors. Sometimes we get a little bit of color variety. But yeah, none of this speaks to Ncuti's character. And it was so interesting how they did it. Like, Christopher Eccleston's was dirty, grimy, messy, poorly lit, because he was just coming off the Time War. He's in an immense PTSD state where his self-esteem is at its utter lowest.
Yeah.
So yeah, his TARDIS reflects that. And then Matt Smithy's chaotic mind, so there's wires everywhere, there's multiple levels, it's chaotic. And then Peter Capaldi, he's the sophisticated guy with the bookshelves.
I loved Capaldi's interior. It was like this perfect little mansion inside there with a desk and a library. I loved Capaldi's interior so much.
It was great. Yeah, all knew whose console rooms meant something until Jodie Whittaker, when it was just an upside down crystal spider with a boner. That doesn't say anything about her. This doesn't say anything about Shooty either.
All right, let's go.
There is something already connecting us.
Woman ordained, Anglican Marine. This is a time machine.
Boom.
I'm not.
Show me him. Why do they keep doing this with him? Is it...
What is he wearing?
Why do they keep doing this with him?
His outfits look absolutely terrible, and they're an eyesore. Can somebody just call the fashion police?
It's not just the outfit. It's listen. Yes, all the doctors, the actors are going to change their hairstyle, but they change it from season to season, not episode to episode. Shooty's hair changes from episode to episode.
Every outfit makes him look gay. Like that T-shirt, it definitely is a gay shirt. Because that's all he is. His identity is I am gay one. And that they can't get away from that. Russell T Davies is gay. He's gay. So everything has to be gay, 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 gay. That they've even admitted, yeah, that's why we're doing this. This is a gay show. And they have the Access Media over there in the UK saying, yeah, Doctor Who's always been an inherently queer show as a metaphor for gayness. Going back to the 60s, they're trying to make this argument. No. And so, yeah, why don't you like Judy Godwell? You're just homophobic and too stupid to realize it was always this gay.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
I am not one of your adventures.
You need to get me home.
This might be the long way round.
You're Scooby-Doo.
Honey, I'm Velma.
Turn this off.
I'm Velma?
I'm Velma?
Velma's not even the leader, bro.
This is...
And that was so good. Honey, I'm Velma.
And why is she such a bitch? You know, I will say this. At least Millie Gibson's Ruby was likable.
Mm-hmm.
She that is like the one few positive things I'll pull out of the season one. Ruby was likable.
The actress didn't give a shit, but yeah, her character was generally likable.
There was I didn't have a I didn't have a problem, and she tried to be nice. She was nice. Everything we've seen from this, don't say a bad word, Adam. This person, this character, has been nothing but bitch on wheels since word one in this trailer.
Well, and it was the same way in the episode that she was in the last season as the soldier. And one important thing that this episode or this trailer proves to us is they are redoing Clara with the Impossible Girl. This isn't the same Monday that we saw in the distant future in that military episode with the landmine. When we first saw her in the first frame, she was in a normal ass present day bedroom waking up. So there's multiple versions of her just like Clara.
Yep, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All right, keep going.
We are meant to voyage out there and...
I need to highlight that costume again. Is this shaman? Shooty shaman? It feels like he's going to Burning Man.
All I know is that I see a lot of black people there.
Is this the Kenya episode? They have talked about he wants to explore his Kenyan roots. The actors, not the characters.
Isn't he a Time Lord that doesn't...
Well, the actor's Kenyan, so the show has to reflect that.
Oh,
well, I mean, he was born in Scotland, I believe. Yeah. He's Scottish, but his ancestry is Kenyan.
Give me
Rwandan. Rwandan. Isn't it Rwandan?
Oh, it's African some country.
I thought he was Rwandan.
It might be Rwandan. I thought it was Kenyan, but it might be Rwandan.
Whatever
it is, same point.
Black People the Planet episode, I guess.
Black People the Planet.
Dre, do you feel represented? Is this going to make you watch Doctor Who finally?
I'm not African, so that's more needle for me.
Oh, never change.
Okay, Jay Fraser is saying it was Rwanda, so yeah, you're correct. So this might be the Rwandan episode. Excuse me, explain his Rwandan roots.
And yeah, now she should feel uncomfortable there. I guess I don't know. Anyway, let's go
and own it.
We're just popping in.
Girl, you are beginning to enjoy this.
Welcome to the Interstellar Song Contest!
Oh, we're so staying.
We're staying.
Oh!
Okay, so just
Oh, there she is
everybody.
again. There she is again, old lady.
Mrs. Flood is going to be important.
Did you pause it there on purpose? Or was that random just now?
That was random.
Okay.
Is just everybody? Is the universe gay?
Yes. And apparently that's a cameo or something, like that guy who said, "Welcome to the Interstellar Song Contest." Apparently that's supposed to be some big British casting, but I have no idea who that is. Whatever. But yeah,
Dragon Lady, do you know who that gay white man was?
Can you go back to the
Welcome to the
that guy on the left there.
I kind of recognize him, but the name is escaping me, unfortunately. I'm not the one that watches reality TV shows, but mum does. But I do see the name sometimes online, and sadly, I am having a brain fart as to who it is, even though I do recognize him.
Man, they can't even make Alien Cat Girl look hot.
I was just about to ask, is that a cat lady?
Here's the thing.
We've had cat ladies before, but they did not look like that.
I mean, it's very simple. Make a cat. Cat girls can be hot. All you got to do, ears and a tail. Everything else human. No fur, no cat nose, nothing. And big titties. That's how you make a cat girl hot.
Yeah.
You don't need to make them look. No.
Okay, Jay Fraser saying he's the actual host of Eurovision. So yeah, they're doing the Eurovision episode with Eurovision's host.
Man, well, I'm not.
Of course
sold.
they did.
Jesus. All right,
with that old lady though that was in the audience, Dre, at the end of the last season, she was briefly in the last season in a few moments, but she ended the season by being on top of a rooftop, dressed up as white fur Mary Poppins, and she just stares into the camera and monologues into the camera, talking to the audience, saying, "Oh, you're gonna like this show. Something crazy is gonna happen," basically.
Yeah,
and the stands defended it, saying, "Oh yeah, it's totally fine to have a fourth wall breaking moment like that, like full on like Deadpool fourth wall breaking, because in the past sometimes the Doctor would kind of glance into the camera out of the corner of his eye and break the fourth wall."
It's different. It's so different. I mean, one of the best fourth wall breaks was the beginning of Capaldi's last season, where you had it was still Clara. Yeah, it was still Clara. And no, it wasn't his last season. The season before that was Clara and Missy. And Missy's telling the story. And at one point it says, which Doctor was it? It doesn't matter. But you had Capaldi dodging all these lasers. And for 1 second before he lifts the sonic screwdriver from the wall, he just looks right in the camera and goes like this. And smiles. That's
There's a few
Dr.
great
Capaldi.
ones. Like my favorite is in his episode Heaven Sent, where he's just monologuing for the whole episode, and it's fantastic. And there's a point where he's in the console room and he says, "Well, I'm nothing without an audience," and then he looks into the camera.
Yeah. See,
that one's a great one. Or when
what's-
Matt Smith's regenerating, he says, "I will always remember when the Doctor was me," and he briefly looks into the camera. Like those are subtle.
It's
Those
good.
are
And it's good acting.
very good acting.
Good direction.
Mm-hmm.
Good direction.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a lot different than monologues into the camera.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Stella Song Contest!
Oh, we're so staying.
We're staying.
I love a good show.
Sold the game to them.
I'm beaming at ya.
But the games are deadly.
All right, just pause it. Pause it.
I didn't know that there was going to be a Who Framed Roger Rabbit episode.
I like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's a good movie.
Now we're in the part of the trailer where they're trying to tell us that bad things are gonna happen and be ready. And
this is definitely the African episode. Look at this.
Is he holding a pair of clippers?
It kind of does look like it.
Yes, it's got a little African man totem face, and those are clippers. Yeah,
this looks gay.
It's probably
they're gonna kiss again.
Maybe he's gonna get his lovey now. I don't know.
Yeah, he only got to make out with dudes in the first season. Now he's gonna have aggressive. Sex.
No. All right.
Aggressive.
There's not an aggressive bone in his body.
What?
There's not an aggressive bone in that man's body. He's a bottom if I ever saw one.
No, I know. The other person would be the aggressor.
Oh, his cheeks were being torn open like a.
Yes.
All right, let's finish this up.
Scared. Why? Because it likes the taste.
Hey.
I promised that I would keep you safe.
You can't.
I can. I will.
pause it for transformative purposes.
That looked like the Daleks attacking in that big.
Well, remember they have
shot.
to use them at least once every couple seasons.
So what was the ghost hand?
We don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know. Dre, you have to understand, we know nothing of what's going to go on here because we are outside actual Doctor Who lore at this point.
Yeah, none of this is connected to the previous show. They even call it season 2, and the previous one season 1, because it's a reboot essentially.
Yeah,
they made a new version of the Doctor, a new version of the TARDIS. He's a clone. He's not the real Doctor.
Right. He came out of the penis. Right.
Yes,
he was literally attached to David Tennant's penis when he was born.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
So yeah, this is entirely a reboot. This is really a reboot. They want you to know that for Disney.
And they were looking at each other in the eye, so it was gay. Because as long as you don't make eye contact and maybe get away with it. No, they were looking each other in the eye when it happened. So
is that the rule?
It is the rule.
Well, what if they said no homo and had eye contact?
Well, then you got to touch a doorknob or something at the same time. I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Oh,
I don't know.
Not the doorknob.
I've never partaken in any of that kind of stuff, so I have no experience.
Doorknob though, that's so random.
I'll explain that one later.
I do. I will take you home. That is a promise.
Yeah, dog shit. That has to be.
No one's gonna watch this. No one.
We are, because Doctor Who Cares reviews will be back. I guess this is a Saturday, April 12th. So, starting Monday, April 14th.
We're gonna make a lot of Monday jokes. On Monday, we watch Monday.
I just realized that. I didn't even register when we decided on that. Damn. All right.
No, and our previous Doctor Who Cares reviews in the UK took place on Monday or on Sunday. So, with the time difference.
Hey, yeah. So, starting April 14th, every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on my channel, Jed's channel, and Dermy's channel. At least eventually, there'll be a little host musical chairs for the first couple of weeks because of scheduling. But we will be back for Doctor Who Cares reviews. I will be reviewing this season directly. I won't just be saving it for the show. I will be reviewing this because it's the last hurrah. So I might as well go both feet in and mess around and kick things.
Are you predicting even lower ratings than last season's lowest rated episode in the history of the show?
Yes, because nobody like Dragon Radio was right. Nobody's watching this except us.
I pray for the day when it gets down to 1 million overnight views.
It may
in the UK or even less. That would be glorious. Like I think it is a bad idea to release an episode on Eurovision for a UK show. Like if it was an American show, we don't watch Eurovision, so it's not that big of a deal. But in the UK, it's still a very big show. So they think they're going to tie it in with the Eurovision episode. I think that's going to hurt it. Mm-hmm. So we might be looking at a 1 million for the Eurovision episode.
And because we'll be technically doing Who Cares reviews a couple days after it, we might have the overnights by the time we get there.
That would be glorious.
We might. So join us for I guess it'll be the final run of Who Cares reviews.
Hopefully.
So we're gonna go into
what's the ratio on it so far, or what's the ratio
on the trailer? Yeah, no one's seen it yet. It's got 28,000 views.
Wow.
Here, let me refresh just to make sure.
Okay.
Because I did set this up at the beginning of our stream.
Yeah.
Oh, no, still 28,000 views on the official Doctor Who YouTube channel.
I mean, it's not going to get ratioed because nobody hates it enough to know about it.
No one's watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. So this thing is this is disaster waiting to happen. We're gonna have fun suffering on this. It will be fun. We're gonna make a lot of jokes.
Especially since we know the end is on the horizon. I think that might help us.
I guarantee at one point or another, Dermy's gonna have a meltdown, especially when we get to the groomer written episode. We had a whole thing on Saturday last night where a new viewer came into the stream and asked him about it. And I'll give the viewer credit. He took his lumps because I went in hard when he was trying to say, convince me it's not a groomer. But he took the lumps and stuck around for the rest of Saturday and played around. So he took it in stride. So I give that dude credit. But Dermy has a particular hate boner for Juno.
Well, yeah, it's outright grooming. It's not just, the part of the community, so they must be. No, it's Dermy, straight up.
Dermy really despises this individual. So expect when we get to that episode that this person wrote, or multiple episodes, expect Dermy to have some very choice phrases. I might have to plan some special clips to play, because he went on for a while last night about wanting to curse and slur, and he can't do it. So I might have to have some things prepared so that I can just cut away, take the place.
Well, we need to tell him no gamer words. It's on more than just his channel.
Yeah. Oh no, he controlled himself. That's why he wants. He says he wants to learn other languages so he can slur in other languages.
Well, Zelensky just taught everyone a Ukrainian swear word.
Gay.
No, he called someone a bitch during the press conference or whatever.
Anyway, so we will have fun with that. All right, we are over 2 hours, but we do have one more topic to go. So let's just dive right in. Other news, the news of the week. The news of the week was, of course, Kathleen Kennedy. Out of nowhere, at the start of the week, we all got the surprise. I think it was Tuesday, because I had to rush that episode. I had to rush that one out really quickly that day before all the streams started. She will officially retire at the end of 2025. Yeah, we kind of already knew that. At least we had figured out that was the plan. Extend it as long as she could and then walk away on her own terms. So that wasn't news, but it became the thing. And suddenly it was an interesting thing to talk about more. Not because, listen, if it had just been she's going to retire and the one rumor mill website had it, we all just went fine, not paid attention. But all the trades, the shills, they picked it up. Now, granted, a lot of them are all under the same tent pole of a corpo, but even ones outside of it also ran with it. So a lot of them ran with it. It covered social media, so it became a thing to talk about, which is why, okay, now let's actually have the conversation. Is she going to be gone? And then we said the obligatory thing. As we've said many times on the show, it doesn't matter when she leaves, if she leaves, because Disney Lucasfilm will never change as long as it's part of Disney. She has put a culture of hate, a culture of commie Marxist ideology, a culture of not-so-secret agenda, all that shit jammed in there. She has filled the company with basically KK clones. Like Palpatine cloned himself. She's got clones everywhere.
Clone spelled with the K?
Sure. I'm okay with that. That's a good way to put it. The KK clone. KK clone.
Mm-hmm.
KK clone. See, I managed to get that one in there.
You're going to jail.
No, I'm not.
Going to jail. He's not in England.
He'll be all right. Yeah. Dragon Lady, you got to be careful on this one.
Shots fired.
So she's got clones. She's got Dave Filoni. She's got a bunch of sycophants there who will willingly do her agenda after she's gone. So it doesn't matter. The cancer is deep. The poison is to the root. But here's where it took a turn, because it could have just been left there and we all could have just been yelling at each other, why you covering this and that. But then it took a turn on Thursday, where we got the announcement that, the reveal that KK herself went to Deadline and gave a response interview. And for those of us that covered this in good faith, where we said, and I played my own clips from my own video, I'll believe it when I see it. Nothing's going to change. And so all that kind of stuff. I suppose people who said, oh, I knew it was too good to be true. She won't be there. We had covered it, but then we got this. So I'm going to read. This is a massive puff piece as well. It's a lot of fluff and bullshit. There's only a couple of paragraphs in the actual back and forth that matter, especially the first one right here. So let me zoom in again, and I'll read it to you. And Dre, I assume this is the first time you're getting a taste of this week?
Yeah. So I got the news just like everybody else did.
Yeah.
And
have you seen this part yet? Have you seen this part?
No, I haven't seen this part.
Okay.
I'm
going to read this, and I want to see if you immediately pick up on the truth in here.
Okay.
All right. Deadline asks, we've read all these speculative reports that you are out, and there's a frenzy for the next person who's going to take over Lucasfilm. What is the truth? KK. The truth is, and I want to just say out loud and clear, I am not retiring. I will never retire from movies. I will die making movies. That is the first thing that's the first thing important I want to say. I'm not retiring. So right away, she says 3 times, I'm not retiring. And none of us ever said she was retiring. Nobody who covered this in good faith said, we think she's going to retire. What's happening at Lucasfilm is I have been talking for quite some time with both Bob and Alan about what eventual succession might look like. We have an amazing bench of people here, and we have every intention of making an announcement months or a year down the road. We are in lockstep as to what's going to be, and I am continuing. I am producing the Mando movie right now. I'm also producing Sean Levy's movie, which is after that. So I'm continuing to stay at Lucasfilm and looking very thoughtfully with Bob and Alan as to who's stepping in. So that is all underway, and we have every right to make that announcement when we want to make it. So, Dre, what did you hear in this statement from KK?
So all I hear is, okay. The report was that she was no longer going to be president. That was the report.
Yes.
Not that she's going to stop making movies or any of that stuff.
Yes.
And no one, as far as I know of, let me say that, no one publicly has been insinuating that she's retiring from film making.
Exactly.
Now, she's using very specific language here about retiring.
Yes.
That's very specific language. So this is what I'm getting from this. She's out at Lucasfilm. She's out. I believe that at the end of this year, or whenever it is, whether she's walking away or whatever, they're moving forward. The fact that
under her own power.
On her own power.
Nobody's forced her out.
Yes, no one is forcing her out. Under her own power, because if there's a succession plan in play, that means that I'm doing this when I want to do that. But I do believe that she is out much more sooner than later because of the sole fact that she's gone on record to say that there's a succession plan in play. Mm-hmm. But the end of 2025 thing, I believe that when I see it. But as far as, and this is why I know that there's got to be credence to what was leaked or whatever.
She's here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All the years that we've had reports from Mike Zero or Doomcock or whoever else.
Mike Zero don't count. He makes his shit up. He makes his shit up.
Whoever else that comes out of the woodwork is like, I talked to somebody at Disney that be working the curly fries, and they told me that KK is out because everybody hates her mama. Like all those people that have said all these things, she has never said anything.
Nope, never said boo.
Ever. But this time, and not to mention all those mainstream outlets that's usually down there engaging in unspeakable evils behind the 7-Eleven to all the executives on the freaking Disney board are also reporting the exact same thing. There has to be credence to what's being said.
Yeah.
So I believe that she is walking out the door in disgrace. I don't give a crap if it's on her own terms or whatever the case may be. It's in disgrace.
Mm-hmm.
When things are going well for you, you stay. You don't retire when you're at the height of your power. Okay? She's on her way out because I think she's done having fun and she's already ruined everything. Mm-hmm. And now it's no longer fun for her anymore to take a dump on people. I think she literally just lost interest. And now she's going to have a succession plan. There's probably going to be some broad with a half-shaved head with pink and blue and green hair. And we're just going to continue the same crap.
Well, what franchises does she have left to destroy?
None.
I think the Indiana Jones was a big deal for her to, get her out the door. She did Willow, she did Indiana Jones and Star Wars. What left is at Lucasfilm. So yeah, she's achieved what she wanted to, destroying the legacy of the men she used to work for, get coffee for, as effectively as possible, and that's all that she has access to. Unless she goes to mainline Disney and gets a job at the 20th Century Fox remnants and starts messing with whatever properties Spielberg had under that umbrella.
Now, here's how I look at it. Never once here. Dre, you're right. She's done as president of Lucasfilm. That don't mean she's gone. So you hear that means the report is accurate. She's just done as president. She's not retiring. And at the same time, it says, excuse me, leaving months to a year. Wow, that still kind of fits the time frame. Now, I think, here's what I think happened. I think the dude who runs Puck News, I think he got a legitimate break on this. He got a legitimate leak, and he ran with it because they were planning something in the next 2 months, whether it is its celebration in April or around some point in May, around Real Star Wars Day. They were probably planning to begin the celebration of KK's tenure. She's gonna get her ticker tape parade, her triumph, and march out the door. And I think it was too big to keep a lid on, and somebody leaked it. He got it, and that's why she's so angry, because they had a well-laid plan. They were going to make a big deal out of it, and now it's ruined. So I also think there might be now a little bit of an extension to when she goes, just to this was done here to regain the narrative. Mm-hmm. That's what this is. Regain the narrative. And you don't come out here, never once in 5 years has she ever actively participated in the retirement rumors.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
She's never responded.
And so this is that right here. And go ahead. Yeah.
The thing that I'm worried about is that she says I will die making movies. That sounds like a threat, but I imagine that her way out the door is just like you guys said. She's not going to be president anymore. She's not retiring and just going to go fade off into the sunset with Frank. I always thought that she was going to get like a meaningless VP position at Disney itself, where she can still collect a paycheck. Seemed like she's involved, but not directly involved in it. That's what I assume is what she's hinting at here, which would make sense with her. My biggest fear, though, is because she saw how many people were celebrating her getting out of Lucasfilm with this set of leaks that turn out to probably be true, that it might reinvigorate her spite. Like you said, she's lost interest in destroying Star Wars, Dre. I think this might have the potential to reinvigorate that spite, and she decides to stay on just to own the chuds. That's what I'm worried about, is everyone celebrated. Oh, well, then I'm not fucking leaving.
Well, Jed, you're not wrong in your statement. Later on in this interview, she says when she chooses her successor, she will be around to hold their hand for some time. We're going to have an Iger Chapek situation. She ain't going nowhere. She will still be there feeding them the path on which she wants them to go. And it doesn't matter if it's Dave Filoni or anybody else. She's still going to be there. And what I found most interesting here in these exchanges early on, before it just gets starting announcing shit, which kind of feeds into what we say next, she announced, they talk about a whole bunch of the future projects going on here. No, not one mention of the Rey movie. Not a single mention of it.
I wouldn't
focusing on Sean Levi's movie, which was weird. That one was way further on the back burner than a lot of the other ones.
It just got announced like a couple months ago around Deadpool Wolverine. So, and they announced, she says in this interview, that movie's going to take place 5 or 6 years after the events of Soy Walker. So,
well, maybe they're merging the projects.
Who knows? So she even mentions Taika Waititi in this interview, his project.
I don't think she mentions Rian Johnson's, though.
She doesn't, though. She does not mention Rian Johnson's. No, but that doesn't matter.
Well, he's busy with his 5 god-awful Knives Out movies at Netflix, so he's busy for a while.
So this whole thing is just confirming, in the end, all it does is confirm that she is not going to be president forever, which is what the leak said. And it was likely going to be this year, and I think they'll extend a little more just so that the narrative fits their new narrative.
Mm-hmm. So they can have the farewell tour, celebrating, getting her some new awards.
Well, there's the thing.
The fanfare.
You go into X Twitter, and this is just one of the things I have, where here come the stands. She had a great career and was handpicked by George. Contrary to what the idiots say, she kept Lucasfilm close to his vision. And there are all kinds of posts like this proclaiming that she was a part of all these things that are great and wonderful. She was a producer. She fetched coffee.
Yeah.
She didn't create anything. But the stands are pushing this one. On the opposite side, you have angry people who are yelling at us for covering this shit. Why are you talking about this? She was never gonna leave. Because it's the job. And it's a story. It's a continuing thing we talk about. And the fact that we just pointed out, because she was directly involved this time, it makes it fascinating to talk about.
It's at least unique. It's a unique version of the rumor that we haven't seen before, which definitely makes it worth talking about.
Yeah. And when we're done with the discussion today, we're not going to talk about it anymore because the story ended this week. But there is one little twist at the end of it from the other day, and it's a rumor. It's a rumor. But I want to put it out there because it lends to something that I've been talking about for years. Apparently, Park Place reported a rumor from Chris Gore, friend to the Fellowship, says that Disney has been trying to sell Star Wars for 7 months, and no one's taking. Now, according to the article here, it's not from somebody working at Lucasfilm. It's not from anybody directly at Disney. It's from somebody in the finance world who got wind of this. And Chris Gore said it's reliable, and now he's trying to basically get confirmation. But if this is true, this lends to my overall theory that I've been saying for 2 years now. How many times have I said at some point, because Disney Lucasfilm has never made money, I always ask this question, show me one thing where they made total profit. Nothing. No profit. They still haven't made back the money that they paid George. None. They will eventually sell Disney Star Wars to get money back. Now, I always get pushback from in various different ways. We had a discussion on Ballbusters on Friday about this, where it was little nuanced discussion on it. Me and ABF had one that, and ABF made some really good points on the fact that there's always going to be room to try and retain parts of the audience or rebrand it, this and that. And I didn't say that was wrong. I'm a firm believer that because something is literally an open wound, constantly bleeding, never stopping, always draining life from the host, there is no way they can't sell this eventually. The only thing I will say is that they will never do it as long as she's there. That's why I think this is too soon. And I'm not sure it's real because there's no way they try to do it while Kathleen Kennedy is still there, because she would bring the world down on all of them because she knows every dirty little secret. Go ahead, Jim.
That would absolutely taint her legacy, and she's never going to allow that to happen. So they might do a Bob Iger, Bob Chapek situation, like you mentioned, bring in someone to be a patsy.
Yep.
It falls apart. They pin everything on him, and then they justify the sale that way. But I think the franchise is damaged too much at this point to sell Lucasfilm off as a whole. I don't think anyone will buy the entirety of Lucasfilm. They'll have to liquidate the franchises, and someone will get Indiana Jones, someone will get Star Wars, and just to bring down the price, because no one wants to spend $4 billion.
Yeah.
If they're just going to use that same price tag, they'll probably try to charge more for it, honestly.
Well, when AB and I had this discussion on Ballbusters on Friday, his point was that they're going to try and license stuff now. That's their next play, to try and license out and make money on that. And my reply was, I don't think any amount of licensing will make nearly enough money to bring in, because look at the video games. They license those out. They don't get that money. Whether you like it or not, Fallen Order and Survivor made money for what was the name of that company?
Absolutely. No, those games made money.
Respawn?
Is it Respawn? I don't remember. But they made money.
Absolutely.
But now nobody remembers the games anymore. They fell off completely once they're out. And our good friend Samuel Infamous, he's just did a struggle session through Survivor and was just annoyed how everything in it was more Disney Star Wars, like just pumping out High Republic garbage in there.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, so those games sell money, but they make their money and then they're done. And then that money goes to the game company, goes to developers. Yep. That doesn't go to Disney. So that's why I say they can license all they want. They're not going to make any profit to even remotely save Lucasfilm.
And
I don't think it's about.
Right.
No, it's absolutely too late. I don't think it's about profit right now. That's not what they need right now. I think it would be about optics if they would do that. Because not the normies aren't going to realize, like with Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor, that Disney's not making the big piece of that pie. They're not getting the majority of that money. They'll just say, oh yeah, there was a success. And I think that's what Disney would count on if they were to license out everything. Successes would look good for them from an optics standpoint, even if financially it's not all that viable for them.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, Jed kind of beat me to the punch there. I believe that if they were to license things out, it's literally just to get the stank out of people's mouths of all the garbage that they have self-produced. And like let's just take Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor. Those games are fun. Those games are entertaining.
Yeah, it's like a Spider-Man.
I like Fallen Order.
10 out of 10 gameplay, shit story.
Yeah. And like the first one, I think the story really cooks in the first one. The second one falls off a cliff. But nonetheless, people when they actually remember it, they stop and think about it, they have fond memories. And it's actually a fun game. Star Wars Battlefront 2. After the controversies around microtransactions, outside of that, people really, really enjoyed that game. I played that game for a long time. Even the campaign, even though it featured, and I use this term very loosely, sequel stuff, and they barely had any sequel stuff in it outside of just a couple of the characters. It was a very, very enjoyable game that's actually still getting playtime today. So like when they license their thing, when Disney's not doing stuff, they have a much better chance of getting it over, using a wrestling term, getting it over with everybody else. Every time they touch it or have their grubby little filthy fingers in it, it all turns too much. So yes, like what Jed was saying, I think a licensing. I think it's too late. Let's get that out of the way. It's too late.
Oh yeah.
There's no saving this. But I think licensing would be a good way to try to turn around the reputation. Now they can use licensing and legitimately get rid of Kathleen Kennedy as a sacrificial lamb of some sort to try to turn this around. But we know that
won't happen. Yeah.
So those are the two things that they could do legitimately to make people be like, hey, maybe they are turning a corner. But we all know that's not going to happen. But
no.
And if they are trying to sell it, who? For how much?
Nobody wants
$30
it.
And $30 tops.
And here's the thing: if anybody does ever take on it and say, "I'll buy it," there's only one thing that saves Star Wars. You basically get rid of all Disney Star Wars. You get rid of it all. You get one big ass squeegee, you scrape that shit off the windshield, and you hit the reset button. And you know what? The world would cheer because the stands don't amount to anything in terms of a fan base. They would cry. They would sound like there's a lot of them, but it wouldn't be worth a damn because they don't actually mean anything. And
they're not buying it either.
Yeah. They're, not enough. Some of them do buy it, but not enough to make a dent and a real profit.
The amount of people that are squawking about it, if the majority of the people that were squawking about were actually putting up dollars and cents, granted, they still wouldn't put a dent in it, but nonetheless, it could be like, hey, y'all talking that trash, but at least you're putting your money where your mouth is. Out of let's use round numbers. Let's say 100 people are squawking about it. Like 3 people are buying stuff, as far as a ratio is concerned about those people.
Because if they were all buying it, the High Republic would be a massive success.
Exactly, 110%. And if they wanted to clean this up, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and all the Black Series stuff surrounding Skeleton Crew and Acolyte, they'd be making millions.
Yeah, exactly. And I can turn Star Wars. Like let's say today, I get a random phone call say, "Hey, you're going to be president of Lucasfilm." I can turn Star Wars around in about 15 minutes flat. I'm going to call a press conference.
Yeah.
The first order of business, I want it on all streaming platforms, whatever, YouTube Live, whatever the case may be. First order of business. Everything from the sequel trilogy will now be classified as Veil of the Force. The EU is established as canon once again. Everyone is going to be getting down on their knees and praising me. They're going to build a statue to me in Rio de Janeiro. Okay? That's what's going to happen. Instantly.
And here's the point to that. Within this week of this discussion around Kathleen Kennedy, the same old stand things. George hated the expanded universe. Star Wars wasn't making money. I saw somebody actually dig up the numbers and show that in its time, the EU at its top made several $1 billion.
Yeah.
For George Lucas.
Yeah.
Made several $1 billion. That's books, video games, comics, all kinds of
merchandising on top of that.
Yeah,
That's what made Star Wars what it is.
Yeah, so there are people out there, the stands, who are still trying to push that Star Wars was dead when Disney bought it and Disney saved it. No, Star Wars was $1 billion franchise that all you had to do was, here's something, we don't need movies out, we don't need anything, and people will buy. Now nobody buys. There's constantly Star Wars media out there and nobody buys. Nothing. So on this part here, I don't think this rumor is necessarily, I'm not going to say Chris Gore is a liar. I'm never going to say that. I'm going to say that I don't think this is completely accurate, because just from my looking at this whole thing, I don't think that they would try and do this while Kathleen is out. But then again, if you wrap it around to the entire story, if there was a plan to have her leave and the talks had now started, then that makes sense to try and sell it as soon as she's gone. But that's trying putting pieces together because we don't have an entire story. But I still think they will sell it. It's not going to happen next year. It's not going to be the year after that. I think we're 2 to 3 years away. She has to not be actively involved in anything. And then they do the logical thing. They sell the thing that doesn't make them any money. It's that simple. All right. Anything any additional thoughts on this? And we'll wrap it up.
Just real quick, I want to do a hypothetical comparison of a victory tour for Kathleen Kennedy, where she'd just be going around getting, all the pats on the heads from everyone in the industry, being fluffed up like she's the greatest ever, but no one in the real world actually gives a shit, versus a farewell tour for a year. If George Lucas had just straight up retired and said, Lucasfilm's still going to make books and whatnot, but I'm leaving Lucasfilm. It's going to be in his safe financial hands, and I'm just going to retire, and doing a year farewell tour for him, where every 2 or 3 months, one of the 6 movies was released over the course, starting with Star Wars Day 1 year, ending with Star Wars Day the next year, 1 through 6.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
And his retirement is after Return of the Jedi ends, maybe a press conference, a little Q&A, and then just fading off into the sunset. Hey, I'm going to enjoy my money. I'm going to, be advised on things occasionally, but I'm not going to be involved in the business anymore. They're just going to keep making books. Can you imagine the success of a farewell tour like that? Man. How much money those 6 movies would make in that year in theaters?
I would have gone to see him.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would.
And
maybe he could have, done another version of them. I don't know. When did the Blu-ray come out? The Blu-ray version.
The Blu-rays came out in 2009. No, I'm sorry. No. No, I think 10 or 11. It was 10 or 11.
So that's pretty close. So yeah, just have saying, hey, these are slightly different edits. As much as not everyone likes different edits of those movies, maybe introduce it with, hey, these versions of the film will be slightly different to entice people to go. The 6 movies would make a godless amount of money.
If during that kind of thing they had released remastered original theatrical cuts, just imagine the money that would have made. That would have made gobs of money.
Now imagine Kathleen Kennedy doing the same thing with her movies.
No, they're not going to
over a year.
They're not going to do that because
they're not going to. But I mean, just side by side.
No,
you can't compare the two.
Here's the thing. Here's just my final thought on this, because I've mentioned this the other day too. What we want is we want George to stay alive, because as long as George is alive, they won't try to remake the original 6.
Oh God, don't say that.
As soon as he's dead, that's first thing on their agenda. Because here's the thing. You don't do it because as long as he's alive, George will make a comment. And you don't want that. But if he's dead, then, we're doing it in the spirit of George. He would have loved this. And you can't have any sort of counter response. So we want George to live as long as possible.
Absolutely.
Keep on going. But you know what is done? This show. We're done. We're over time as it is. Anyway, all right. So let's say our farewells, and then I gotta go wash some pillows because They fell on the floor. My pillows fell on the floor. They need to be. Got to put them in the machine. That's a big deal. Anyway, Jed, hi. What you got this week?
Well, everyone can find me on YouTube and Kick at Hollywood Scholar, just regular scheduled live streams with Saturday Night Drive-In, which we'll talk about in Adam's section. I myself am just going to hide away and lose my mind slowly as I keep studying quantum physics. This week we're doing quantum entanglement and the energy transfer that's possible through quantum entanglement through the Hoda experiments. I am not prepared for quantum physics. I don't have the background for it, so I'm just going to be slowly dying. If anyone wants to do regular checkups on me,
Jed, in 2 weeks you'll be resuscitated when you play Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh yes, I'm so excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows. I mean, the graphics look good. There have been good things coming out from that end of things, but yeah, I don't want to play as George Floyd, the Hia. It's not going to be fun.
And I swear to God, if he says I can't breathe at some point in the game,
that will be a mod day one. Like every time it gets hit, oh, I can't breathe.
Sorry.
Dre is just, you don't want none of this nonsense. Look at
I
that.
want no part of that at all. But this week we're gonna have ourselves a good week. I am doing a review. Oh, I wish I had the comic on me. I'm doing a review of Blood Sable, another great independent comic. That will be being dropped at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, this week is the week Daredevil Born Again. Coming out on Tuesday. Hopefully, I can have a review by Wednesday. I am looking forward to watching the first 2 episodes of this show because I'm pretty sure that my good friend Captain Jack will deliver it to me on time. So it should be pretty good. So I'm hoping that this show is actually going to be good and fun. And I'll have a review hopefully on that Wednesday, the 5th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, Dragon Lady.
I should be simming at some point, and also you can you can read my review for Tangled as well.
Last good Disney animated movie.
Facts.
That's good. As for myself, I have nothing major planned in terms of reviews this week. It's kind of regular stuff. Tomorrow is Mellow Mondays, where I'm sure I'll come up with some sort of show where we can go off on tangents and be stupid. Let's see. Rest of the week, it'll be as the news gives me ideas for stuff. But this Friday, Ballbusters episode 100 on Dermy Channel, and it'll be combined with a couple other shows. It's gonna be one kind of big combination of stuff. A lot of gay, retarded, degenerate shit's gonna happen. So that's all I can say. I'll be there for most of it. And then on Saturday, this is a different week. We are not having a regular drive-in this week. We're going to knock it back in the week because I'm doing a 12-hour stream, 12 to 12, this weekend because StreamYards costs a lot of money, and I need to basically try and earn some. So stream to help me keep streaming. Basically, if you want this show, if you want Anime Odyssey, if you want Mellow Mondays, Nerdgasm, Natural 20, whenever I feel like doing it. If you love and enjoy those shows and want to continue in their normal, regular shape and form, I need StreamYards to do that. And StreamYards doubled their prices this year. So it's we need to make some money to do that. So there'll be that. And that is combined with 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Saturday night. It'll be the back half of the 12-hour stream be combined with Ballbusters Gaming. It's more Among Us, more sus behavior, more throwing people under the bus. It'll be fun time, be good time, have a lot of good that. And as going to the future, the following week, Jed, what is our drive-in movie when we come back in 2 weeks for that?
So after last night's film, that was a enjoyable spectacle with no substance film. I decided to, reverse that and do a film that is all substance and no spectacle. And there's few films, in my opinion, that are quite as good as this one in that regard. And Adam hasn't seen it, I don't believe. So we're going to have a lot of fun showing it to him. We were going to be watching the 80s. I don't know if it'd be a cult classic, just the 80s film that no one's seen, but is really good, called A More Perfect Union. The film depicting the writing of the Constitution, the Constitutional Convention, mainly from James Madison's perspective. It's an incredibly well-written movie, focusing mainly on the convention and just everyone's writing and their reasons for different things. And they actually show the South in an interesting way when it comes to slavery. But that'll be a discussion for
3/5 compromise.
Oh boy.
And going next week, I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, talk about it. Starting next week, gaming streams will return because I will be getting my copy of the Suikoden 1 and 2 remaster. Very excited. So we will be doing some gaming streams with that. And we get ever closer to Snow White, ever closer, among other things. So thank you, one and all, for joining us. We'll be back here next week. Once again, I have, with the exception of Dre reporting on Daredevil, I have no idea what we'll possibly be talking about next week. So until then, everybody, thank you for joining us. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channels. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, take it easy, everybody.